The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
After 24 seasons as head coach, Bill Belichick is leaving the New England Patriots. And even though Belichick is in his 70s, the job offers are already rolling in. Today, ABC asked him to be the next grizzled bachelor.
I really respect how athletes can watch a teammate leave the field with an injury and then immediately resume doing their job. Because I work in an office. If the lady in the cubicle next to me shatters her spine, then gets dragged out on a stretcher, I will be taking a half day.
Al Michaels here with you along with Chris Collinsworth. And this game has been a nightmare for the Packers, Chris.
After losing their first three quarterbacks to injury, Green Bay is turning to a fourth-string back.
Let's go down to the field where Schleff is in the shotgun. He takes the snap. Oh, my God.
Mercy.
Folks, this is one of the worst injuries I've seen in my 40-year career.
I think watching that made me sick.
No one should ever have to witness something that shocking. Let's see it again.
This is my favorite part of the game, when two drunk guys, each holding a baby, get into a fight.
You're stupid. No, you're stupid.
Oh, now their wives are getting into it. They're going to put their cigarettes in their mouths and bump boobs.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
The weekend.
Yep. This is it. Welcome to the Friday edition of the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. You're a hell of a crowd. There will be some NFL playoff games for you to enjoy on television this weekend. The Vikings won't be participating unless a colossal tragedy takes place.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. I mean, I'd love for them to play, but not when under those circumstances.
At what cost? But, you know, if you dig the NFL playoff scene, then you got that going for you.
I think that'll be pretty fun. There's a couple I want to see.
It's going to be colder than a well digger's ass. Going to be snowy, but like we were talking about a week ago when it was 58 degrees, what we got coming today and tomorrow and Sunday and whatnot, oddly enough, that's exactly what some of yous have been waiting for.
I'm looking forward to it. I like that kind of weather.
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't been able to go ice fishing yet because I don't feel like walking out on 4 inches of ice.
No, don't be foolish. Right. Ice,
so yeah, I'm pumped.
Ice fishermen and women.
Needs to get cold.
Like I said a few days ago, snowmobilers.
People want to get their sleds out.
Nipple ring wearing snowboarders.
Ooh, that's me.
Yeah.
Minus the nipple rings.
Some of you have been looking forward to this kind of a thing.
There'll be some fun games this weekend.
Well, which ones are you looking forward to?
Well, Texans and Browns. I want to see how your Browns do.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Chiefs and Dolphins. Well, you know, because I've been watching Hard Knocks, and so I enjoy some of the players on the Dolphins.
Oh, the mid-season Hard Knocks.
The in-season, they call it.
In-season.
In-season,
sorry.
Yeah.
That's still a current program?
Yeah, so they just had an episode Tuesday, and I think they've got at least one more coming up.
Oh, so that's why you've kind of fallen in love with this Mike McDaniels.
Yeah, he's just such a different dude. And if you don't like him, I get it. But, you know, there's just something about him that's likable. Have you watched the most recent one, Wapple?
I haven't, but I want to just because he's such a goofball.
Yeah, he is. And, well, so's Tua. Tagovailoa. Yeah, he's also a goofball, so it's kind of fun. He just seems like a nice young man, you know, so it's kind of fun watching him. There's a couple other guys on the team that are pretty funny and seem like good dudes.
Well, I hope they, of course, if you're a normal person, you're rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs to have a very short run in this year's playoffs.
Oh,
so that would be great if Miami goes ahead and beats them in the cold and snow in Kansas City.
Yeah, I want the most lopsided game of all time.
Yeah.
Do you know where Tua got his humor from?
No.
No, it's his...
Nick Saban. Because Nick Saban's such a good guy.
He's a funny guy, that's for sure. This is a callback to yesterday, but he is probably the best comedian in the NFL.
Yeah. I'm not doing this again.
Oh, I'm sorry, in the NCAA.
I will burn this sumbitch down if we have another Nick Saban parade on air today like what happened yesterday. If you were listening yesterday, you know what happened. All right, so there you go. That's cool.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel, he's just not what you'd expect. It's hilarious watching him standing next to the players. I mean, it's like a little kid standing next to a very tall adult in some cases. Yeah, the most recent episode, he kind of told there's some emotional stuff in his background that I wasn't aware of. Nearly destroyed his career with some substance abuse issues. I'd never heard that before.
I have very limited experience in seeing any of these personalities, any of these players that you're mentioning. I've only seen one or two quick interviews with that Tua kid, but I will agree with you that he just comes off like your average young person, trying to get her done.
He seems like the type of guy where he shows up at your workplace and he's genuinely interested in you and what you do. He just kind of comes across that way. I mean, they show him, and I don't know how much of this is a setup or not, but it seemed legit. They show him talking to some of the maintenance staff and people who are getting the field ready and stuff like that. And he seemed really interested and was kind of like, I can't believe I never knew some of this stuff before.
That's
how much
cool.
work they put in and everything that it takes to get a game going. I also want to see Cowboys and Packers.
You do?
Yeah. And
okay. I'm sure I'll get a piece of, a little piece of each of these games.
Of course, the Lions.
Oh, that'll be the big one. That'll be the big one for
Lions and Rams.
Yeah, for most folks. There you go. Now, on this Hard Knocks program, where they're hanging out with the Miami Dolphins, I'm a old school, I guess, fan of the NFL or anything in general, really. So, I'm drawn to the players from the 70s and 80s. So let me ask you this on this Hard Knocks program. Do they ever bring any all-time greats into the mix, like your Dan Marino?
Yeah, Dan Marino quite a bit.
My esteemed colleague, Dan Marino.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, so they don't...
What movie?
Ace Ventura.
Right.
So they don't, talk to him much, meaning the show, they don't have him sit down and do interviews like they do the players and coaches. But he's in the locker room after games, and then they call him, they call him Uncle Dan.
Uncle Dan.
And so you'll see him real happy with a win and just kind of standing there like, man, I could have been doing anything else after a loss. So, yeah, they do show him.
Keith Byers.
I don't remember seeing Keith Byers.
Irving Fryer.
I don't remember that either. They had a guy, I'm forgetting the name.
Mark Clayton.
They had a Hall of Famer. Just the other day.
I got you. Don Strock?
I don't think so.
Fair enough. Well, I'm glad you're digging the show. And
I just think HBO does so well in, even if there's topics I'm not interested in, they make it interesting. Mostly.
Well, yeah, knock yourself out. Like I said, I'm sure I'll get a little piece of each of those ball games. I have no plans to really sit down and... Well, the Browns game is the one that's most interesting to me. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, and I got money on that club. If they win the Super Bowl, I'll be $600 richer. And I've never won anything in my entire life.
You've never seen that kind of money. None of us have.
No.
Never.
I don't even hear.
$600?
Too much.
Nope. I immediately boned myself before the show even started.
Uh-oh.
Like Josh would say, I boned myself. I forgot to bring my glasses.
Oh, no.
Ooh, that sucks.
Because I'm a stupid idiot.
That you're the furthest thing from a stupid idiot.
I can see nothing without my glasses. How dumb. Not the smartest move for a guy who works on a radio show that is 100% scripted.
It being the first time, though, that's impressive.
What's that?
It being the first time you've ever done that is pretty impressive.
You know what happened? You guys are all touching yourselves over this cold weather.
Yep.
Oh, great, it's going to be cold and snowy. I had to switch to a thicker jacket this morning.
Oh.
And I hadn't loaded any cheaters into my winter jacket just yet. That's how I boned myself.
You'll have to, I've mentioned this many times. My wife, she carries around purse tuna because there's emergencies where she has to eat because she's a different person when she doesn't. She's very difficult to be around. Otherwise, it's lovely to be in her company. So you need to have some glasses in different places, like some car glasses, work glasses, home glasses.
I thought I had
Rick's
car
Cabaret
glasses.
glasses.
Ooh. I thought I had car glasses. But I searched the car when I pulled into the parking lot that I realized I had lost my glasses. So I thought I had car glasses. I guess not. Cubby, trust me, I'm prepared at home. I've got them in every different room in the house.
So you don't have to go up and down the stairs.
Right.
I love it.
I got a pair of glasses in my downstairs bathroom. I got a pair of glasses at my downstairs bar. I got a pair of glasses by this television and that television, and I got a pair of glasses in the bedroom, in the upstairs. I got them everywhere, all over the house. I thought I had car glasses. The biggest boneheaded move is, why have I never designated a pair of work glasses that I just leave here in case I lose them? That was my big mistake.
Are the glasses in the bathroom for reading material? Is that why you keep them in there?
Yes. Yes.
Can I pet that dog? Jesus recommends the magnifier app on your phone to zoom in. I've used that before. Sometimes, like, if
magnifier app on my phone.
I'll show you. You have it.
Okay.
It's great.
That's exciting.
I've used that, like, if there's an issue. You haven't used it?
No.
It's awesome. Like, if you have an issue, let's say, with some electronics, and there's, like, a super, super tiny code, right? Or a serial number or something.
Sure.
That they need at customer support.
Absolutely.
And there's no way anybody, even like a young person with good eyes, could see it. The magnifier app helps.
Okay. You know, I'm not
this
big
app
with...
is really cool.
I'm not big on apps, so yeah, I would need someone to show me that, but that's a great idea. Thank you for the idea. Who was it again? Can I use that? Can I pet that dog, Jesus?
Yeah, I use that quite a bit. $600 you say you could win should the Browns win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
You had a funny $600 story yesterday off air. Do you remember?
No, I do not.
It was regarding mathematics.
Oh, for Christ's sake. For God's sake. You know my arithmetic is poor, but maybe a lot of you didn't know it was this poor. I was sitting around with some folks the other night. There's an event coming up that I am involved in paying for. And if I'm trying to remember how I told the story the first time around, there's going to be drinks at this event. And I was going to pay for 100 drinks for the crowd. And they told me, well, drinks on average are around $6, and you're going to buy 100 of them. So they said something along the lines of, so you know what that comes out to. 6 drinks. Pardon me, $6 for 100 drinks. And I said, no. And they looked at me and said, $600? And I had to say, oh yeah. Yes, right.
Okay. Yeah.
I could not do that arithmetic in my head, yes.
A gentleman named David texted in and said he uses his camera to zoom in when he needs to see something. That's good, but the magnifier app I've noticed is better.
Way better.
And there's other features and stuff on there.
I already couldn't do arithmetic, and now I can't see.
Yeah, bad.
I mean,
that is pretty funny.
Watch me over here, Josh. If I'm ever looking at, I got some pieces of paper
here. You need longer arms.
I'm going to have to, move it way away from my face and then close to my face. It's going to be an adventure today.
Can I give you a bit of a math test?
Oh, I'd love to. I could stand some practice.
How much are tickets to see Air Bud?
A ticket to see Air Bud.
Yeah.
That's going to be $3.
What if I wanted to bring 2 of my friends?
All right. You are
Me
bringing
and 2 friends.
That would be, what did I say tickets were?
You said they were $3.
That would be $9.
Yay!
Yay.
Is there anybody old enough to get that reference?
Yep.
It's Quitters Day today. Were you guys aware of that? This is a thing.
Yes. My wife works in the gym industry. She works for Big Jim and the Twins. And so she has mentioned Quitters Day before.
Okay.
Where they see a large influx of folks right there at the beginning of the year that are going to get in shape. They're going to change it. They're going to make this their year.
They're hopping up and down on those treadmills. They're sweating it out.
Yeah, they're hitting the weights. They're moving up from the pink to the purple, the yellow to the orange. They're getting all the big-time weights in there.
And then around this time of year,
life finds a way to get in the way, and they don't show up as much.
They're gone. They're gone.
Then they just keep the membership going every single month.
Yep.
The gym folks are just pumping away from New Year's Day until around now, and then they gone. because Quitter's Day is kind of a celebration of when most folks can their New Year's resolution. They tried like hell for a couple of weeks, but by, what is the date today, the 12th?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
By the 14th, 80% of New Year's resolutions have been canned. You say, forget it. I'm going back to the drinking, the smoking, whatever it is. Quitter's Day.
Anybody here make a resolution?
I've never gotten involved in such things.
Never once did you just say, maybe this year, maybe not necessarily a resolution, but this year I'm going to try and something?
Never once.
I have a couple. I guess they're dumb. Like, I want to drink more water. I want to read 25 books this year.
God
Little
dang.
things like that.
Have you started a book?
No, I haven't yet. I have 2 new ones. I'm really excited for one of them. It's like a murder book.
Like a how-to?
Yes, exactly.
Dummy's Guide for making your coworkers disappear?
It's actually based off of one of my favorite podcasts, a morbid podcast. So it's one of the girls on that podcast wrote a book, and it actually went somewhere. It's called The Butcher and the Wren.
The podcast Morbid?
Yep.
That one. Okay, I've heard that's very popular.
Is there an idiot's guide to murder? They must have written that one up.
Oh, 100. There has to be, right?
Dummy or Murder for Dummies.
There you go.
Yeah.
That one. There's that angle too.
I used to love those books. Did you ever read any of those books?
No, I
No,
never.
never.
Big yellow tomes of education on a particular topic? Yeah, I enjoyed those quite a bit.
Dirt slinging Jesus quit smoking cigarettes New Year's of 20 plus 20, and he hasn't looked back. Good for you.
Nice.
Hot and spicy, crunchy, nutty, tasty, chewy Jesus said he has a resolution to lose 50 pounds by July. He wants to avoid diabetes. His brother just had to have his toe cut off yesterday because of diabetes.
Oh, no. That's not good.
All right, since we're talking about resolutions, people are asking if you're still off the geef, Ashley.
Yeah, yep.
Cool.
Yeah, gosh, what day is it today? The 12th? It's been over 2 weeks.
That's great.
3 weeks on Monday.
Have you started one of the books yet?
No.
You better get on it.
I know, I do.
I mean, you have them. Step 1 complete.
Yes, I do have a problem though when I start reading a book. I cannot put it down. Like I will sit there for 5-6 hours and just finish the book because I can't go to bed. I can't do anything else if I don't know the ending of the book.
What is this?
One more
what
chapter.
is this? 1943 or something? What's with you folks sitting around the house reading books?
I was gonna say I have the Young Bucks book.
I didn't know there was a young. This is a wrestling tag team. For those of you who don't understand the verbiage.
Yeah, I've been going on about 7 months with it, and I've maybe gotten 50 pages in.
That's because you got better damn things to do.
Yep.
Like watching television or
Playing
the internet. Video games. All right, so today's Quitter's Day, when most folks take a look at their New Year's resolution and say, you know what, piss on it, not interested anymore. A big New Year's resolution is to begin exercising more, of course. And I got something here. Speaking of geef, speaking of ganj, I've got something here for you godless pot smokers. And it, crosses over into the topic of exercise. There's some kind of report dumped on us here. If you want more motivation at the gym, smoke some grass before you walk into the joint.
Really?
It makes complete sense, really, to me. Maybe it hasn't dawned on you yet, Wapple, which is understandable. It's 5:59. I forgot my glasses. There's all kinds of drama going on here. It's early in the morning. Maybe you're not thinking clearly. But everything is more enjoyable when you're affected.
Yeah, I used to do that.
True that.
Whether it be beer, hard liquor, or weed. Basically, the report goes on to say that if you show up at the gym a little bit high, you're a little more relaxed, you're a little less anxious, you don't care about any damn thing, so you'll walk on one of those treadmills until your friggin' shoes come off because you're just having a blast.
No, I would not do that. I would probably be like, okay, I was doing this for about 30 seconds. I think that's good.
Well,
Let's
have
move
you
on here.
ever tried a treadmill while high?
No.
Well, then you should try it. Trust me, I know what you're talking about. Years and years and years ago, I actually would pop into a gym once in a while and walk on a treadmill. And it, like Josh was explaining, his wife working in the gym industry, she sees these people who sign up for memberships and quickly they gone because they lose their motivation. I used to attempt walking on a treadmill once in a while, and I had maybe 5 minutes before my patience ran thin and I was so bored I couldn't stand myself, right? But they say here, try it high. They say it makes a world of difference.
Whenever I would play soccer and we had practice and we had to run and do push-ups and all that, I would be high. I hated it.
Well, but running and push-ups is a lot different than friggin' walking on a stupid treadmill for 20 minutes.
Yeah, nobody knows your name, like, at the gym. I guess, the people that check you in, but, like you don't have a coach or friends that are, like, staring at you
Reading
like you would at practice or something.
Reading on the treadmill makes it go by super fast, Ashley.
Oh,
reading?
really?
How the hell do you read on a treadmill?
I do it every day.
You're able
I do
to...
most of my show prep on a treadmill. I can't type, but I can read easily.
I turned on Netflix before on my phone and threw it on the treadmill, and it makes time go very fast.
The what?
I knew it.
Come on.
Treadmill?
Yeah, there you go.
That's I've never said it that way.
Sure, a lot of folks watch television and things like that. I'm impressed by someone who can read while bouncing on that stupid treadmill.
Oh, I don't run. I'm just walking. I can walk at a decent pace.
Maybe I'm a bouncy walker. I don't know.
You have more flair when you walk. You got that riz. I don't. I walk just kind of like a dad.
I do have that riz?
You do.
I wonder if I could play video games and be on the treadmill.
Certain games I bet would be.
I could.
I wonder if you'd barf, though.
Yeah, that would make me dizzy.
Yeah. Just with the different movement.
Or
I can't, let's say I'm wearing a sweatshirt, which I always do. I can't, I'm very careful when I pull it over my head, because if I can't see for whatever reason, even though I'm just walking in the same direction, I have nothing to look out for, I almost fall every single time.
Yes, 100%.
It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense.
Or it's like your character starts running faster, so then you start running faster and you run off the treadmill.
Oh, you would totally end up doing that.
You know what's keeping people in the gym nowadays actually is that pickleball.
Oh, God.
Folks it's huge. People are going to the gym now to do that and getting spats with old people.
I'm pretty burned out on that whole bit.
I still I've never tried it.
Yeah, good for you.
I don't know. It doesn't look that fun to me.
It's really not that fun.
I think it's kind of fun. I like it that it's... it's like a little bit of exercise, but not too much.
Oh, all right in between.
Yeah, it's just enough. Well, doubles. Okay, I have played singles before, and that's a lot more. But doubles is not as much.
It's wildly overrated. Now, I know Josh and I, not this weekend, but next weekend, will be playing pickleball at a Randy Shaver charity event. The only reason why I'm going is because I love Josh and I sort of like Randy Shaver.
I'm looking forward to playing with you. It's fun. I enjoy being on a team with you.
You're kind of like my weed. You make everything fun.
Oh, stop it.
My weed or my beer. That's what you are. As long as you're there, it's more fun. Now, big surprise, this report on how marijuana makes working out a lot more fun. This report, big surprise, comes from the University of Colorado. But they did a study with folks, put them on a treadmill for 30 minutes. Some of them smoked some weed, some of them did not. The ones who were sober said the workout, felt difficult, felt straining. The ones who were geefed up had a riot. They had a great time. They even said the marijuana mixed with that runner's high that you hear about, and it put them on an even wackier level. You see what I'm saying, Wapple? So try it.
Well, Ashley...
But don't turn an ankle and go down and, then sue the radio station or something.
Me and Ashley were talking, and now that she's not smoking weed, she said it's harder to play video games because it's harder for her to just sit there without being high. When you're high,
really?
You can just sit there for a long time.
Yeah, I can't, zone out as good as I used to. My brain is constantly just going and going.
Ashley.
Gosh, I just want to relax.
Please, let me take you under my wing and show you the ways of sitting for long periods of time. I can help you.
Please help me.
I can help you.
Here's a guy who knows how to sit.
Yep. You know what else I can do? Lay down very well. I will.
I could use a lay down.
We'll roll in a cot, and I'll teach you the finer points of it. Delivery driver She's is on the topic of going to the gym. She said, "You know who likes to go to the gym and is just a regular at the gym?
No.
Nick Saban.
No, not Nick Saban.
Nick Saban's a guy that can commit to going to the gym and get in shape."
Josh just got done saying that pickleball is dragging folks into the gym these days. That's the big draw. Always tired southern Minnesota welder Jesus. He said in the old days, yoga pants is what got everybody signed up at the gym. That's what was when the women started wearing the yoga pants.
I do remember that.
People were signing up for the gym all over town.
Things got vacuum packed a lot of times, it seemed like, those yoga pants.
They did.
They tried to ban those at my school.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, and so like I think the next day or that whole entire week, like every girl wore yoga pants in defiance, and they were like, yeah, okay, we're not messing with this. This is too much.
I can see how that would be a thing, banning this or banning that wardrobe item.
Yeah.
You're too young for that. It's too sexualized around here.
Uh-huh.
We never had that simply because, I always had uniforms. So we never had like a particular new trend. Like I know I had friends that went to public school there. They like the over-the-shoulder shirts, girls wore shoulder-revealing shirts. I don't know what the name is.
Oh, yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, they had an issue with that.
No shoulders.
Yeah, couldn't show the shoulders when that became popular.
Oh, man, if I were Wapple's age. What a time I would have had, because, when I was in high school, you know what the average outfit was for a gal? Sure, there were some rocker chicks that I hung out with that tried their best to dress like Lita Ford from the Kiss Me Deadly video, so they were fun to hang out with. I'm a young man. I'm everything, all those things that make a young man virile and whatnot. It was pumping.
Testosterone.
Blasting through my veins, you know what I'm saying? So there were some rocker Lita Ford type chicks, and we used to party, but I'm not exaggerating. In the late 80s, at least at my high school, the common outfit for a gal at my school was, they were sort of like yoga pants. They weren't quite as Josh used the term, vacuum packed. Did they call them leggings?
Yeah, leggings.
Okay.
That's still a thing.
The most common outfit at my high school was, the girls wore leggings on the bottom half, but on the top half, they would wear a massive, oversized college sweatshirt that went all the way down to their knees.
I remember that look.
And it would say, Dartmouth or something like that. That was you're sitting here talking about you're wearing yoga pants in high school, and this was too hot and too sexual for high school. By damn, you young people had it good. You had it good.
We didn't really, when I went to high school, there wasn't really many yoga pants yet.
Well, no, but there was.
That's true. You missed out on that.
But Wapple, give me a break. When you were in high school, it was the height of the Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera whale tail craze. Right?
No.
It was, come on. Yes, when did you get out of high school?
I was after that then.
When did you get out of high school?
2011.
Oh, 11?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, then, but still, there's don't.
Yeah, but you started in like 1998.
Yeah, it took me a long.
It took you a while to get through.
That was like spaghetti strap era. So you got to see some spaghetti straps.
Fine, fair enough, Wapple. Yeah. But please don't try to compare your misery to mine on this subject.
No, I won't, because it was like a lot of spaghetti straps, flannels, jeans. They would wear jeans and sweatpants.
All right. Well, anyway.
Frosted Flake Jesus, he does the gym right. He said he used to get high and go to the gym every single day. There was a Domino's next door, so he'd smoke more weed and then order Domino's right after.
Oh,
reward yourself.
That's inconvenient.
Now, everybody be cool, because my wife's listening. She emailed in on the topic of getting high before going to the gym. She said that plenty of people do it, and they sweat it out. Right, you can smell all the marijuana coming off folks.
I bet that
when they're running around.
If I've ever just reeked like weed because of that reason at the gym.
Wapple, I've never noticed you smell like weed or cigarettes. For a cigarette smoker and someone who smokes weed.
I smell cigarettes on them every day.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I never have.
Yeah,
maybe my nose doesn't work.
I think it's my failing eyesight has made my sense of smell even stronger.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, but I smell cigarettes on you all the time. I bet you that combination of marijuana and body odor is a hell of a something to deal with.
Do you smell it on him, Ashley? You share a studio with him.
Only if he goes and smokes a cigarette. Otherwise, no, I never smell it.
I never get to sweat weed out because I never work out or sweat.
Well, no.
Maybe only at night when I'm sleeping.
Well,
I sweat a lot.
Josh is saying here in the building, of course you're not sweating here. But I bet if you went to the gym, that combination of sweat and dope is probably pretty awful. I can't say that I've ever experienced that. I did get a text from Pancakes by the Lake Jesus. He has a New Year's resolution, and his New Year's resolution is to suck less.
That's a good. We should all try that.
That's a great goal.
Yeah, good luck with that, Pancake by the Lake Jesus. All right. Well, there's the deal. He wants to suck less. It's Friday. It's gonna be a cold, snowy weekend. Hunker down and hang with us for a few hours here, if you will. We got Dad Fights Part 154 coming up later. We got all kinds of things that we can get to. But we ought to take a break. We'll do that and then come right back on the Programski.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
What company? Stupid news on the Half-assed Morning Show.
There's all types out there, Cubby.
That is true.
All types.
For better or worse.
The stupid news reminds us of that air day. In Lincoln, AFME running Nebraska. A man wearing a shower curtain robbed a liquor store down there. Those criminal masterminds. Grown man wearing a shower curtain. This was at around 12:50 a.m. this past Tuesday morning. Wow, they keep the liquor stores open late down that way, huh?
Yeah, you might have an emergency party or something coming up.
It's 10 to 1 on a Tuesday morning, and the liquor store's still open. Fellow wearing a hoodie, a mask, and wrapped in a greasy old shower curtain walked into a joint called Mom's Liquor. He pointed a gun at one of the liquor store employees and demanded monies. And the employee, I'm sure you can understand this, was sufficiently freaked out by seeing their very first gunslinging shower curtain monster.
I'd be so confused.
They were sufficiently freaked out. They handed over the cash that was in the register. Local cops found the shower curtain blowing through the streets of Lincoln later on that night. So the dude ditched his brilliant disguise.
I bet there's a lot of DNA on Wapple's shower curtain.
Tons.
They could catch you if you were a party to a crime.
It's odd that you say that because I was just looking at the shower curtain last week and I'm like, man, that's gross. We should probably get a new one.
Pretty disgusting?
Yeah.
How often are you supposed to change that? Once every 20 years or so?
I would think so. It's only been up for 2 years and it looks disgusting.
Oh my gosh, dude, at least once a year for me.
No. By the way, an investigation is still ongoing. They're still looking for the shower curtain monster. That's one of those deals where I was completely oblivious for so many years to certain things that most folks pay close attention to. And one of those was changing out a shower curtain. I remember when I was young, living on my own, and I had a female over at the house, and she went into my bathroom and she said, "You have got to be kidding me with that shower curtain." And she said, "When's the last time you changed it?" And I said, "Changed it?" The same one that's been hanging there for as long as I can remember. It was something that I never paid attention to until I was called out for it. Nowadays, I don't use a shower with a shower curtain. I got one with a door on it, but I'll tell you what, that sumbitch is getting tough to see through at this point.
All the mildew and everything on it.
That's just dudes for you, right?
Yeah, I think so.
We don't change sheets and shower curtains until it's absolutely unbearable. You know, where it's I don't know, we're covered in insects.
Using yellow pillows.
Yeah, I just got rid of some yellow pillows.
Good job.
Don't you say a word about my yellow pillows.
There was a whole debate online about that.
I love my yellow pillows.
Yeah, I just touched our shower curtain the other day, and it did kind of give me the heebie-jeebies a little bit, because I thought, this thing's getting kind of gross.
Slimy?
It's like you just wash your body, and then you touch it, and it's like, I need to do it again.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's because my son uses it, and everything about kids his age is disgusting.
Yep.
So, I don't know, it just kind of grossed me out.
Nowadays I am so riddled with OCD and overly, I don't know if the word is concerned, but overly dialed into keeping things neat and clean. Maybe it comes from the fact that growing up and when I was a young adult, I was just straight up disgusting. I mean, here's another one that came to mind. Cleaning out a microwave.
Oh, I do that frequently.
Now I do, but when I was a kid, you'd open up the microwave and there was chunks of every meal that had been cooked in there for the last 15 years.
Yuck.
Stuck to the sides. It's just something that never bothered me. Never occurred to me that there was a better way to do it.
I've even been starting to put paper towels on top of the stuff I cook in the microwave so it doesn't splatter up.
Oh, I always do that.
Starting to?
Yeah, I thought you were supposed to do that.
No, I never did.
Really?
At my house, when I lived with my parents, I was like, nope.
Right, Wapple. Why did it take me? Why did it take 20 years for that to dawn on me? I also use paper towels now, but for many years you'd put your raviolios and then you'd hear a big boom.
They're done,
and it never bothered me that a month later my raviolio shards are still all.
It just adds flavor to whatever else you're cooking.
Yeah, it's like an oven, it just gets better over time.
Now, Hot Cocoa She's has said she heard you can throw some of the shower curtains through the wash, but you got to be very careful because when you go to take them out of the dryer, you risk getting stuck in the dryer, especially immediately after a shower before you're decent. You're half naked, you're stuck in the dryer, and who knows what happens next.
Am I stuck in the dryer and I'm wearing a skirt and I have no panties on?
Oh, no.
Again?
Is there any gentleman here who could rescue me?
Now what am I going to do? Yeah, the old me. I mean, not that the current me is anything that's going to end up on the cover of any magazines, but the old me was really gross. Really gross.
Well, if your parents don't teach you, I mean, it's one of those things where you don't really think about it.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Here's a good old-fashioned gut punch for you. In Dallas, Texas, a church in a town called Oak Cliff. It must be a piss-poor neighborhood. They installed a fence in an attempt to prevent break-ins and burglaries. Well, that fence, this week, that fence itself was stolen.
No. How do you steal a fence?
I mean, that's terrible, but that is kind of funny.
This is great. Back to our topic of, 30 years worth of microwave food stuck to the inside of the machine. Riddle of Steel texted in about spaghetti-o stalactites hanging from the ceiling of his microwave. Okay, this poor church, they had a fence up to keep the riffraff out. The fence itself, just a few days ago, was snatched. The poor bastards at this church will have to spend thousands of dollars now to replace the damn thing.
It looked like a fancy fence that they had put up there.
It was pretty
and what
looking.
was left was very nice.
I mean, these bastards stole the whole works. a pastor at the church by the name of Tavares Gardner had a comment on this nightmare. Well, first off, he said, I was all like, this cannot be happening. Doesn't sound like a pastor, does it? Well, then again, I don't really know what a pastor is.
Sounds like a wapple.
They used some type of saw, he said about the thieves. And then he dumped a much more personal comment at the bad guys who stole the fence.
What do you say to the people who did this?
God bless you, but the wrath of God will be upon you for taking from the house of God.
I look forward to his movie coming out.
That's a badass
No
line.
kidding. That is an awesome line.
We need to add a clap of thunder after he says that.
Yeah.
Dude, just a deep, dark clap of thunder after he said, the wrath of God will be upon you.
And then the Undertaker theme music. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Dude! What's the line again? The power of Christ compels you. It is God himself who commands you. What movie? The Exorcist. This effing church what?
Sorry, go ahead.
It happens. This poor church gets broken into all the damn time. They're pretty burned out on all the lowlifes in the neighborhood. Stealing from a church. I'm not a religious person, but come on, that's cheap right there.
Yeah, you can't do that.
That's cheap.
I'd assume I was going to hell for sure.
100%.
What do you say to the people who did this?
God bless you, but the wrath of God will be upon you for taking from the house of God.
It's perfect.
Dude, I'm picturing the bad guys trembling in a hideaway somewhere when they heard that clap of thunder. That's great.
That was dramatic.
I was thinking about our first story. The guy who's wearing the shower curtain and he goes in and steals a bunch of alcohol. Nick.
Yes.
Let's say he stole 100 bottles of beer.
100 bottles of beer.
Okay. Each bottle of beer is worth $6.
Mm-hmm.
How much money in beer did he get away with?
Monogamy.
No!
Upon you for taking from the house of God.
Oh.
Well, you've been working with me on this monogamy thing. I finally thought I had it.
Yeah, you thought you had it.
I thought I had it right this time.
You and your wife practice
$600.
No, you got it backwards.
For Christ's sake.
Taking from the house of God.
The house of God. All right, along with these bastards who snatched a fence away from a house of God, there was what they call here a retail theft gang on the loose in a place called Fairfax County, Virginia. But they didn't get far. They got pinched. And you know what got them? What stopped their getaway? Rush hour traffic.
Oh, that's awesome.
Did not plan well.
There were 4 of them. They were attempting to steal more than $4,500 worth of designer handbags from a high-end store, they say. What's the fancy schmanciest handbag you've got in your rotation, Smashley?
I guess I have a Calvin Klein hutch, what is it? Clutch, yeah. Hutch.
A hutch is something my grandmother had to keep her fine china in.
Yeah, I'm not super into purses though.
Okay. These folks were trying to steal more than $4,500 worth of designer handbags from a high-end joint. They were at a shopping center when they tried to pull off this caper. The handbag gang grabbed multiple bags, ran on out the store, and then launched themselves into a Chevy Suburban and hit the road.
Yeah, depending on what store they went into, that could only be 3 purses.
Or just one.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
some of those, I was at the store or a mall not too long ago, and one of those purse stores had armed security out front.
Yep, they usually
Just
do.
the purse store.
I don't even walk into them.
Dang.
They're like, you have no business being in here.
So there they go, cruising away from the scene of the crime in their Chevy Suburban. But the police caught up to him because it was 5 o'clock and traffic was a gangbang. That's hilarious. Cops were able to swerve their way around it because they could, flip the cherries on and folks would move out the way.
Imagine the road rage you'd have. Like,
They're just sitting there helpless.
I was just thinking, I wish I could be in that vehicle when they're all yelling at each other on whose fault it is.
Go around.
I told you to take I-92.
You planned a heist at 5 o'clock on a Monday. Early evening. I noticed something else about these dopes. What was that old bit on Sesame Street, Josh, when we were growing up? One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah. One of these things.
Here are the crooks' names, and you'll see where I'm going with this. Crook number 1, a gal named Paris. Crook number 2, and I've included middle names here for a couple of them because they're so exotic sounding. Crook number 2, Miara Giselle. Wow.
I like that one.
Crook number 3, Shania Brianna. Crook number 4, Kevin Wormley.
What?
Get out and look like a Kevin Wormley.
You get out of here, Kevin. You don't quite fit in with the rest of your crew. What's your name? Paris. How about you? Miara. And you? Shania. What about you? Kevin Wormley.
Well, the other thing is they're 20, 19, 19, and he's 32.
Is he 32?
That's the other thing that doesn't necessarily work.
Come on, Kev.
Maybe that was his plan the whole time. Oh, you cannot possibly be with this gang. You can go, sir.
Yeah.
They're 19 and 20, and he's 32. He's hanging out with that young stuff.
He is.
Send in the young one. What television show? Cheers. You watch Cheers a lot, don't you, Ashley?
Oh, yeah. Love Cheers.
Remember that episode where there was a group of older women back in the pool room? They were supposed to be a book club, but they all got real drunk and horny and handsy, right?
Yep.
So Sam Malone goes into the pool room and they fondle him up and down, right? Frasier decides he's going to take advantage of these horny old gals, and he goes back there and strips for them, and they gave him a decent amount of money. And once the ladies were done with Sam and Frasier, you hear one of them in the back room, directed towards Woody, one of them says, "Send in the young one."
That's it, call the cops.
What are they doing?
They're grabbing me, teasing me, making fun of me, and stuffing money down my shorts. Hey, small bills, too. That's great.
Fresh meat!
Fresh meat! And the look on Woody Harrelson's face is why he was such a great comedic actor on that program. He looks absolutely terrified. Kind of, maybe pathetic is the word that I still can remember every minute of that episode. All right.
I think it's cool.
I appreciate that. Fresh meat, they're chanting. This one's real simple. Up next here in the Stupid News Report, you can't sell something that doesn't belong to you. But there's an Iowegian jagoff down there in Waterloo who doesn't play by those rules, I guess. Here's the deal. Police down there in Waterloo pulled over a 2010 Ford Escape that had been reported stolen last month. The folks driving the Escape said they straight up bought the vehicle from their neighbor. And they showed police a bill of sale, like you might do. So cops went on back and jaw-jacked with this neighbor who said the vehicle belonged to a lady friend of his. He said she left it at his apartment. He told the cops he got tired of seeing the vehicle in the parking lot, so he went ahead and sold it. He told the buyers it belonged to him.
Are we allowed to do that? Something you get tired of seeing, you just sell it?
That'd be pretty cool.
What a bag of turds this guy is. What the hell's wrong with him? So he got arrested. His name is Dale Ulfers. Boy, we got some names this morning. Dale Ulfers, he's 48. he's going to have to show up in court for this. I bet that'd be a good case to watch in person. I'd like to see the judge's face when dumbass tells him he sold the car that he sold a car that didn't belong to him.
I do love it. Yeah, I love that when the judges they can't hide their contempt for how stupid someone is.
Absolutely. I'd like to see that one in person.
The poor guy that bought it, though. That bought the car.
Well, yeah, I mean, why would you look any further than, what was there at face value? If someone wanted, a private citizen wanted to sell me their car, I don't think I would really grill them to make sure it was theirs. I would take their word for it 8 times out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
I bought a stolen car. Now I'm SOL because this ain't even now that I don't have a Ford Escape anymore. What do I do now? I didn't think about those poor bastards who bought the car.
A buddy of mine had a similar situation. He bought a cell phone off of Craigslist one year, many years ago.
What, a cellular telephone?
A cellular phone.
Sure.
And it was like used in a crime, stolen, all these different things, right? So he had to go to court. He spent like a couple days. It was like 2 days worth of court to try and prove he had no idea. He had nothing to do with it. He just bought it from some dude off of Craigslist.
What a massive pain in the ass.
Suck. I just wanted a phone, man. That's it.
So, yeah, you're thinking, I'm never buying anything off of Craigslist again. Mm-mm. He did. He continued to.
Yeah. He's the number one buyer on Craigslist.
Yeah, he has nothing since has happened. But, he kept going.
Stayed loyal.
All right. I got to warn you. This one here is a keeper. This story's going to keep you for a while, but it's something, by God. It is. It's a damn shame. Cyber scammers keep teeing off on folks all over the world. And as is the case with a lot of these terrible scams, it's easy to criticize the victim for falling for such nonsense. I understand that reaction. But I also have sympathy for the victims because many of them are just simple-ass people, a lot of times old people, who just aren't aware that these kinds of scams are happening. They're not on guard against scammers like the rest of us.
A little too trusting.
Some of them too trusting. Here's the latest from India. India, I said. It started with a fella over there seeing an ad on Facebook for a job opening. And what an opening. Dude by the name of Mangesh. He stumbled upon a job ad from a company called the All India Pregnant Job Service.
Sounds legit.
Mangesh, that's the ad that he saw. He decided to check it out, and the job sounded pretty sweet. It did. The ad said he would get a hell of a lot more money than he was already making as a laborer. All he had to do was get some women good and pregnant. I believe the overall setup was something along the lines of, there are good, honest women out there who want to be mothers, but they just haven't found the right man yet. You could help these women out by putting a baby up in them and get paid to pump.
Sounds like a blast.
So, of course, Mangesh says to himself, well, Jesus balls. This sounds like the gig for me. He gives the scammers all kinds of personal information, bank account numbers and such. They never lined up any of these hot babes that they promised him, and the scammers have more or less drained this poor bastard of every dime he ever made.
That sucks. I mean, that does seem like one that most people would be pretty skeptical about.
Yeah, do some digging on that one, probably.
But,
But I don't know how they operate in India. I don't.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's normal.
Well, I doubt it's normal, but I don't know. Mangesh is not the only dude to fall for this bit. A top cop down there said he's received is not a word. I came off like Frau Brucher right there.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of fancy the way
he has received. A cop down there said that he has received complaints from hundreds of victims. All of them gullible dudes who were lured in with the promise of a huge payday and a night in a hotel with a hot mama looking to make babies. They say, the cops, there are many more dudes getting screwed, not literally but figuratively, and they're not coming forward because of the shame of it all. Some of the scumbags involved in this scam have been arrested, but the cops have a long way to go. They've got a handful of dudes arrested, not all of them. They were promised, these suckers were promised a big pile of money to fold these hot ladies in half, and they'd get a bonus pile of cash if the gal ended up pregnant. Some of the fellas were offered about 3 times what they're making with a regular living. And Mangesh himself said, damn, I'm not a wealthy man. The money sounded good. I couldn't turn it down. They sent Mangesh pictures of the babes that he was going to pin. Mangesh showed the cops what he thought was legitimate paper documents that he received from the company that, again, called themselves the All India Pregnant Job Service. The forms had titles like Baby Birth Agreement and Pregnancy Verification Form. He thought it was all on the up and up. Here's a weird twist. There was a signature at the end of the documents that I assume was supposed to look like the signature of the company's CEO or something like that. The cops said that the signature looked a hell of a lot like an Oprah Winfrey autograph.
No way.
It looks like Oprah Winfrey for sure. Absolutely does.
That's great.
So the scammers put their heads together and said, look, we need a very professional-looking signature here to complete this form so these bastards will fall for it. Anyone got any idea? What about Oprah Winfrey?
Yeah, somebody in this situation loves Oprah.
They dragged...
Who doesn't?
True.
They dragged Oprah into this disaster. The local cop said the scammers lured men with the promise of free money and free sex, which is a deadly combination. Now, I'm going to close this out with a great quote from our guy, Mangesh, the original dude I was telling you about who got scammed. And this final quote, to me, when I first read it, it felt like an M. Night Shyamalan type of a movie twist. You didn't see this coming, I bet, okay? Mangesh said, after being scammed by this company who said, come on to a hotel, knock up a hot lady or two, and we'll pay you more money than you ever imagined. Mangesh said, I really don't know what to do now. My wife is very angry and won't speak to me.
Uh-oh.
What?
Oh, no, man.
You've got a wife and you signed up to fold randos?
And get them pregnant, potentially?
Isn't that kind of M. Night Shyamalan?
Dang, yeah.
At the very end, my wife's pretty pissed, too. You're what?
That is pretty funny.
Honey, where'd you get all this extra money from? I don't know.
Just out there slinging it every day.
It's for you.
Come get our ladies pregnant and we'll pay you for it. Well, Josh and I wouldn't get a dime.
Nope, not at all.
Because both of us, 100%, we're both convinced. Well, Josh has had it professionally confirmed. I'm just convinced on my own that we're both shooting nothing but straight garbage.
Yeah, that's for sure in my case. Like you said, science has told me that. They graded on, I think it was 4 factors, and I failed each and every one.
Oh, that hurts a little.
I wish I would have filmed or at least recorded the audio of the guy explaining it to me, because he was kind of funny. He's like, well, we judged this was bad, this was bad, this was bad, and some good news, this one was bad as well.
We would not be hired by a company that pays us to impregnate women.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Don't take this personal, but I hate that your desk is next to mine. After 40 hours of hearing you bitch, let me make one thing clear. The last thing I wanna do is go get a beer. So F you till Monday, don't call and ruin my weekend.
on that, Cubby. Here's a quick little update on what's going on with the jock sniffing. We'll have all kinds of time here in a half hour. Randy Shaver will join us. So will Dinkus. I'm lost here.
Brad Ryder?
Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. And we're going to cut
You call
loose.
everyone Dinkus.
Yeah, I know, but for whatever I couldn't think of the guy's name, and we talk to him 3 times a week. I'm losing my mind. We'll cut loose another episode of Dad Fights. For now, big NFL playoff weekend, the wild card weekend. Cubby said he's friggin' pumped.
Yeah, there's going to be some fun games.
He's pumped for this. He's going to have a beer every time. Chug a beer every time an announcer says Super Bowl. He's going to party his nuts off for you. He'll learn how to hold a beer by the end of this weekend. NFL playoff schedule, I can dump that on you later. As far as the local ball clubs, the Pigs are at home versus Philly tonight and then Arizona tomorrow night. They could use a couple of good results. They could, the Pigs. The Wolves are also at home this weekend. Portland tonight, the Los Angeles Clippers on Sunday. Golden Gopher basketball at Indiana tonight. That's something I'm pumped for. Golden Gopher hoops in Indiana. That'd be nice to beat those smarmy bastards in Bloomington, Indiana tonight. Gopher hockey versus Robert Morris University. I bet you there's no one here that could even tell me where that is. Robert Morris University.
I wonder what their specialty is there.
I don't know what I know where they're at. And whoever says it out loud first gets a slap in the mouth.
Pennsylvania.
That's right.
Oh, Josh gets a slap in the mouth.
Yeah, slap me, Daddy. Slap me, Daddy.
Yeah. Half hour from now, we'll get the boys into the mix and get that dad fight rolling amongst all kinds of other conversation. But for now, stay tuned for Josh's news report.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
Business Half-assed morning show. 93X.
I mean, it's not unusual for parties who feel that they are wronged to file a lawsuit. That's what this whole system is about. So the fact that they're taking it to this particular level is unique, it's interesting, and it'll be complicated.
A Chicago man is suing 27 women and 1 man with after multiple social media platforms over negative posts about dating him were on a dating site a Facebook group called Are We Dating the Same Guy?
Oh, yeah. I was a part of one of those for a while.
Did you ever post on it?
No. And to be honest, the people that were posted on it, I was like, yeah, you're probably dating the same guy. Like, he looks like a D-bag.
So a group of people lit this guy up on a dating site, and he's going to go ahead and try to sue him?
Yeah, it's not. I'm sorry. I know I said dating site. I misspoke. It's a Facebook group. There's plenty of these right around the country called Are We Dating the Same Guy? So and a woman, well, I'll explain more here in a second.
Right then.
In a complaint filed Monday in the District Court for the Northern District of Illinois, Nico D'Ambrosio claimed that he'd been the subject of defamation, doxing, and privacy invasion, among other allegations. The Facebook group in question is part of a network of Are We Dating the Same groups that allows users to discuss negative dating encounters with men in their local communities. In his case, he said in the complaint a woman he had consensual sex with had posted a photograph of him on the group. In response to the post, comments from several women labeled him a psycho and very clingy, with one accusing him of ghosting her after they slept together. Demanding a trial by jury, he alleged in the complaint the post and subsequent comments caused him humiliation, emotional distress, and reputational damage, and resulted in unspecified lost earnings.
We've been working on this for several months. We've tried everything but sue these people. We tried sending them registered letters, sending them cease and desist letters, to no avail. And ultimately, we had to go and take this recourse because our hand was forced and they wouldn't take down these posts.
Vice reported last year on the challenges of the Are We Dating the Same Guy groups, noting while they wanted to crowdsource women's safety, people are often unable to defend themselves with untrue allegations. And they said the women don't always corroborate their stories or back it up with any real information.
Oh, that sounds like an interesting problem to be involved in. What did you say this guy's name was again?
It is where was it? Nico D'Ambrosio.
Oh, Nico D'Ambrosio.
The drama on those pages is so fun, though. Like, I was a part of it just because I wanted to read the drama.
What were you just everyone lighting each other up? This person sucks. This person's a slut. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, and like girls getting mad at each other because they're sleeping with the same guy. It gets so good.
I mean, I can imagine a scenario where a dude is. I mean, I don't know if it's right to do in the first place. I don't know. I mean, if they're a danger to society, that's one thing. But if somebody's just upset because they got dumped, and they post all kinds of terror, and maybe this is the guy's case. I have no idea.
Oh yeah, there's some like that for sure.
That's a great point. I understand if someone comes off, a little bit dangerous, you might want to give other folks a heads up. But everyone just jaw-jacking back and forth about they smell bad and they didn't pay for dinner. I mean, friggin' grow up, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you can just say whatever you want. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the rules are necessarily. But
I'm with you, Cubby.
In this case, he's going to sue. I mean, speaking of like lawsuits, you could sue for whatever you want, right? And maybe that's the damage you want. You want some totally false information out there, and that's your goal. That's your only goal. Just throw the suit out. And then because some people are going to believe it.
I wouldn't feel comfortable going toe-to-toe in court with a guy named Nico D'Ambrosio. You know what I'm talking about?
No, yeah, I bet he's got a couple of lawyer friends.
Definitely.
He knows people. He does.
eBay has been ordered to cough up $3 million to resolve criminal charges related to a harassment campaign by employees who sent live spiders, cockroaches, and other disturbing items to the home of a Massachusetts couple. Do you guys remember this story? It's been in the news on and off the last couple of years.
You'd have to help me out.
The Justice Department charged eBay with 4 counts of corporate stalking, as well as witness tampering and obstruction of justice after 7 employees waged the ruthless intimidation campaign in 2019. The targets of the harassment run their own e-commerce trade publication and were threatened to stop reporting on the auction giant. The story that allegedly spurred the harassment was a piece about a lawsuit brought by eBay accusing Amazon of poaching its sellers. As the online threat continued, the couple allegedly started receiving disturbing packages, which included live cockroaches, spiders, a Halloween mask of a bloody pig, and a book titled Grief Diaries, Surviving Loss of a Spouse. My gosh.
What the hell is going on here?
Further, they allege the company attempted to break into their garage to install a GPS tracking device in order to defame the duo and get them to stop reporting on eBay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's something else right there. I mean, I thought I remembered, and it didn't say it in this story, so this is just me maybe not remembering correctly, so take that with a grain of salt. But I thought they sent them like a bunch of sex toys and like all kinds of weird stuff aside from the live bugs and whatnot. But that book? Come on, man.
Yeah, what?
Minneapolis police are trying to determine what ignited a fight inside a middle school gymnasium, which eventually spilled out to the street, involving up to 200 people.
Holy cow.
Middle schoolers in a brawl, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
And parents. I'm glad they stepped in to teach the kids an important life lesson. The incident happened just after 7:15 p.m. Wednesday at Sullivan Steam School, where witnesses told police an altercation started in the gym following a basketball game and then moved outside. Officers from MPD, Metro Transit, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, and the State Patrol responded to the scene, broke up the fight, and asked people to leave. Again, about 200 adults and kids involved in that altercation. Thankfully, no serious injuries were reported, and police say no arrests were made. An investigation into that incident continues. Police also said it doesn't appear the fight was related to one that erupted the day before at North Community High School. A statement from Minneapolis Public Schools confirms an altercation broke out during the final minutes of a girls' basketball game between North and Henry, involving players and students from opposing teams. North and Henry high schools are working toward bringing students from both teams together to repair harm to the community. Meanwhile, the Minnesota State High School League is investigating that incident and will issue an official report on what happened.
Didn't you just sign up your kid for youth basketball?
Yeah, he's got his second game tomorrow. See you there.
You better get your ass into the gym.
A Brevard, Florida Brevard County, Florida man faces charges after he was accused of shooting his roommate in the face with a pellet gun following an argument over money and a dog. Deputies contacted the victim at a hospital 4 days after a fight with the suspect, 34-year-old Brian Edwards. Edwards woke the victim up and demanded he give him back $10, previously given to the victim the day prior.
Oh, my God. You better get your hands on that $10 right now or you're a dead man.
He went on to demand that the victim watch his 6-month-old puppy. You will puppy sit.
All right.
And you'll give me back my $10.
When the victim refused, Edwards became enraged and threatened him with a AR-style automatic pellet gun, quote-unquote, that he retrieved from his room. Investigators said the fight escalated and moved outside, in which Edwards began firing the pellet gun into the home, striking the victim in the left knee and chest. Jeez. Not deterred, investigation revealed the victim taunted Edwards, calling him a terrible shot, which led to Edwards putting the pellet gun inches from the victim's left cheek and shooting him in the face. That shooting left the victim with several cracked teeth, which later became swollen, infected, and in need of medical care.
Oh, God.
Edwards was arrested on Saturday.
These guys were supposedly friends?
Yeah, roommates and friends.
My damn.
A 71-year-old man who spent more than half his life in prison for robbing banks before his release 3 years ago is at it again.
All I know is that he is a career criminal, and this is the life he chose.
Luckily, that, by the way, we'll make that into a Randy Shaver intro. Luckily, the local news caught up with a fancy guy for his thoughts on the story.
I'm 71. But he must have been a robber before. He couldn't just start now. I mean, you don't change your stripes at that age, you know.
Sounds like he should be in a James Bond movie.
He sounds so cool.
Bruce Edward Bell was arrested after the December 21st holdup at a bank in Sun Valley, a neighborhood in the San Fernando Valley, in which Bell pointed what looked like a gun at a worker and stole $60,000 in cash.
He grabbed an employee, held a gun to her body, and he moved her over to the secure teller window, and he demanded entry behind the teller's office. Once inside, he ordered the employees to give him cash, and if they did not comply, they'd be shot.
He was arrested during a traffic stop after the robbery, and police found a replica firearm and about $64,000. The LAPD called Bell a serial bank robber and released the photos and information Wednesday in case anyone else was victimized by him. They think he may have had other robberies recently. He has 4 prior convictions for bank robbery, and he served more than 40 years in prison.
God help us all.
He was released from federal prison in October of 2021.
This has been his entire life.
Yeah.
Just can't stop.
He can't. 2 women who used fake personal information to swindle a new Mazda SUV from a Utah car dealership December 30th were arrested last week after they got greedy and returned for a second vehicle just 6 days after taking the first. In a December 30th visit to the dealership, 36-year-old Loree Willis put a false Social Security number on the application. She also gave the dealership a photocopy of a fake Arizona driver's license as well as a fake pay stub. After a few days, employees of the dealership became suspicious because Willis and her accomplice, 33-year-old Gabrielle Baker, didn't make a down payment on time. It was then the women's contact information, Social Security numbers, and pay stubs were discovered to be fake. The dealership listed the vehicle as stolen, and it was later recovered by police with neither Willis or Baker driving it. Then on Friday, a dealership employee called police and stated Loree and Baker brazenly and quite stupidly returned to try the scam again on another vehicle, this time using fake information for Baker. The women admitted to police they obtained a fake document on the internet and they were placed under arrest. A search of Willis also turned up 3 small bags of heroin, which may have led to those decisions.
Pretty shady, Cubby.
Yeah, I mean, they got away with it sort of got away with it the first time. An Oregon family believed their loved one was dead when they received an urn full of ashes and the 23-year-old's death certificate, but discovered months later he was very much alive. The bizarre story of resurrection began when Portland resident Tyler Chase was declared dead from a drug overdose by the medical examiner. He'd been living in a recovery program after struggling with substance abuse and didn't have contact with his family for several years. At some point during his stay at the recovery center, his wallet was stolen. Meanwhile, Chase's family received a death certificate and an urn full of ashes belonging to another person, a man who was found dead while carrying his wallet.
So they find a paper ID of me that's smudged and everything. They're like, okay, well, this is Tyler John Chase. So they put him down as me. I guess then they notified the family like protocol.
Chase's family declined to view the body before it was cremated, so they had no idea the remains weren't his. Took more than 3 months for the office to spot the mistake and inform the family Chase was not a pile of ashes, and they set up a video call to put them back in touch. Officials also reached out to the correct family of the deceased man, whose name has not been released, to notify them of his demise.
That's awful.
But that's a good life lesson. You know what, Ashley? It ain't over till it's over.
Yeah, that's true.
A Cocoa, Florida woman was arrested after what sounds like a really messy robbery report at a convenience store. 11:30 p.m. Saturday, police were told 2 women, identified as 23-year-old Mercy Thomas and 28-year-old Demetra Smith, had entered the store and began throwing food and damaging merchandise. Surveillance footage showed Thomas yelling at a couple in the store before throwing a container of mac and cheese and some of the store's potato wedges on the ground. The couple also tried to escort the 2 women out of the store, but Thomas pushed over a container of pickled sausages, causing them to scatter on the floor.
What a mess.
Investigators explained that after being threatened to call that they were going to call police, Thomas snatched the wife's cell phone and ran off. The husband was able to write down the license plate number of Thomas's car and even open the car door to try and turn off the vehicle to prevent the 2 women from getting away. But Smith allegedly began punching the husband in the head, causing him to retreat. Thomas was arrested and faces an ton of charges.
Causing him to retreat.
He's
I like
out.
the way you said that.
He's out.
Getting his head punched up.
I'm not dealing with that. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office said a man was rescued from a grain bin after he was stuck in corn up to his chest. Oh, I bet that was scary.
I've heard the horror stories about that.
Thankfully he survived. I mean, geez Louise, if that would have went deeper, that could have been trouble. Police say he was working with a vacuum hose on top of a corn pile from inside of a shed on Tuesday. Another man who was operating the hose from outside noticed the vacuum slowed down and looked blocked, so he checked on the victim and saw he was stuck. He did suffer some injuries, but officials say they didn't appear to be life-threatening. Thank goodness. Yeah. In a less scary corn-related current event, the newest official landmark in Minnesota is a decades-old water tower shaped like an ear of corn. Rochester City Council approved designating the Ear of Corn Water Tower as a historic structure this week.
Nice.
The tower's been around for almost a century as part of the city's skyline, built as part of a cannery south of downtown. The water tower's novelty design and recognition as a local waypoint and roadside attraction, pilots in training at a flight school in the 1940s used it as a beacon even, meets historic preservation guidelines similar to the Fishing Bobber Tower in Pequot Lakes or the Big Fish in Cass County. The tower was placed on a city list of potential historic landmarks around 2019, and now this week, it's official.
Whatever happened to Rochester?
It's still there.
Yeah, it's there. I like Rochester. You don't like Rochester?
They used to be cool.
Yeah. I used to spend a little bit of time down there.
It's a nice little area.
What the hell were you doing down there, Cubby?
Oh, I dated a young lady who lived in Rochester.
Yeah, I figured. Slut.
Nurse or something?
Was she a nurse? No,
yeah,
she was
because
not.
the Mayo Clinic, no?
She was not a nurse. Not a bad guess.
You were a floozy.
But she liked to play doctor.
What the?
No, she did not. I said that to try and sound cool on the radio. She was very, very straight-laced.
Perfect for you.
As am I. Right. I don't like them freaky. She was perfect. No, my wife is perfect. She was almost perfect. God dang it. Now that I think about it, she was awful.
You know what? This is my fault. I started it.
Yeah, this has gone down a path that's going to get me in trouble.
I'm not going to ask any more questions about your sexual past while we're live on the radio because you've dug yourself a hell of a hole here.
And she was ugly. And she was also a man. So he was all those things.
And definitely not a nurse.
Wapple, I'm moving in this weekend.
Got a place, bud.
Now in theaters, Mean Girls. 20 years after the original movie, the new Mean Girls is a musical inspired by the Broadway version of the beloved comedy, Mean Girls, which reminds me how mean my ex was. Boy, was she a mean person. I hope I never run into her.
The one from down there in Rochester?
That's the one, yeah.
Pain in the ass.
Oh, man, can't stand her. Also in theaters, The Beekeeper. Jason Statham is a former operative from a secret organization of badasses called the Beekeepers. After a phishing scam leads to the death of a friend, he goes on a brutal campaign of vengeance.
Boy.
A Beekeeper? I want to see it.
You know, I mean, it's not fair to judge a movie by its trailer, but I got to say, Beekeeper's the dumbest trailer I've ever seen in my life.
It's got Jason Statham. I'll watch it.
Yeah, I love him.
True.
It's going to take more than that for me.
That movie looks as bad as my ex was at sex. Just unappealing. Completely boring, strange.
She just didn't understand how to do it in the first place.
No, not at all. Not at all. I love Jason Statham. Like you said, Wapple, it does look bad, but I read a couple reviews saying, yeah, okay, it's not great, but it knows what it is. And that makes it better, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I watched Crank, so it's got to be better than that.
Dude, everything's better than Crank. And I love Jason Statham.
Josh hated Crank.
I did not like it. It was ridiculous. Making its streaming debut on Apple TV Plus, Killers of the Flower Moon, based on the best-selling book and starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro. When oil is discovered in 1920s Oklahoma under native land, Native Americans are murdered one by one until the FBI steps in to unravel the mystery. I'm looking forward to setting aside a day and a half to watch this movie. It does look very good.
I'm sure I'll get around to that one, too. That one looks good. Josh's old girlfriend from Rochester looked and smelled like she was from 1920s Oklahoma.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Gross.
Yeah, just horrible.
Where his current wife smells delicious.
She does. Yeah, you're right. Hey, just a quick aside. Wapple, turn the mics off. Nick, I really appreciate what you're doing for me here. I found myself in a tough situation. All right, we're back.
You want me to fake a heart attack or something like that?
I don't think you need to go that far.
I'm pretty good at faking heart attacks.
It's gotten you out of a lot of stuff. I've seen it. Available now on Netflix, Lift, where Kevin Hart leads an international crew of thieves attempting an impossible heist, stealing $500 million in gold on a flight to Zurich. Kevin Hart will be on Jimmy Fallon tonight. Then Sunday on HBO and Max, I'm looking forward to this one, the very highly anticipated True Detective Night Country. I loved the first season, and early reviews are calling Night Country the best True Detective season since the original 2014 series. The new 6-episode fourth season premiere of True Detective stars Jodie Foster, takes place in a remote town in Alaska where an entire crew of scientists at an Arctic research station go missing.
Ooh.
Dude.
You watched the first season, right, Nick?
No.
Alexandria Daddario?
Oh.
True Detective is with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey.
I've heard all about True Detective with this Daddario gal, and she takes all of her clothes up. I've never watched a second of it, but I've heard all the stories.
Oh, I bet you'd like it. Yeah, True Detective. Check out season 1, and this one, everyone's saying this matches up to the first season.
Night Country.
Yeah, True Detective Night Country.
Okay, they should have called it Night Ranger.
Well, then you definitely would be interested.
And episode 1 could be titled "Don't Tell Me You Love Me."
Oh, now I'm gonna have to watch one of their concerts on YouTube.
And episode 2 could be called "Sing Me Away."
Dude.
The final episode could be called "Goodbye," of course. And then if they ever get involved in religion, the episode could be called Sister Christian. How much time do we have?
Keep going. Because, this one's 6 episodes. How many of you?
I think I've done like 4. There could be maybe someone who has terrible nightmares and it causes them to murder, and they could call that episode, When You Close Your Eyes, Do You Dream About Me? There could be...
I know an episode I'd like, but... you wouldn't want to watch it, even though I like this episode. What about if they had
right. I know it already.
A Secret of My Success.
That's just such a bad song.
Oh, I don't think it's a bad song.
I like it.
Then there's an old couple, right, that get together after years of being apart on this new television show. They meet somewheres in a city, and they could call that episode Sentimental Street.
Oh, I like that one. We like that one, don't we?
There's so many directions we could go with this, but the message that I want everyone to take away from this entire conversation is that Josh's girlfriend from Rochester was a pig.
Oh.
She was an absolute pig.
Now I'm feeling bad, all these things. She was none of these things, but you can't hold a candle to my wife.
Trying to help you out over here.
I know you are, but now I feel like we've gone too far.
Oh, God, what is...
Don't go towards the light. Don't go towards the light. Listen. Text and win Monster Jam tickets on 93X. Listen for your keyword to text all weekend for a shot to win club-level tickets for Monster Jam. I love the Monster Jam. Coming back February 17th and 18th at US Bank Stadium. Your first chance happens today after 5 with Pablo.
The Monster Jam is back.
Monster Jam.
That's great.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Both Dave Grohl and Jason Bateman turn 55 Sunday. LL Cool J will check in a year older at 56. He's on my wife's hall pass list. Did you know that?
It's funny. I was just reading about him the other day.
Yeah.
I was reading about his big single back in the day called "Mama Said Knock You Out."
He just performed that on New Year's Eve. We watched that.
He
Sure did. We watched it. Guitar hero Zakk Wylde, 57, and Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed, 76.
Wow.
Someday.
I mean, my life wouldn't have been the same without Carl Weathers being a big part of it in the 70s and 80s.
I'm with you, man. The reigning sexiest man alive, Patrick Dempsey, 58 tomorrow. Julie Louis-Dreyfus of Seinfeld will be 63. Birthdays today, Rage Against the Machine, Zach De La Rocca, 54. Rob Zombie, 59. The Human Highlight Reel, one of the best dunkers in NBA history, Dominique Wilkins, 64 today.
Oh, my God, Dominique Wilkins.
Howard Stern, legendary Howard Stern, he is 70. We want to send our thoughts this morning to the Clark family. They lost their daughter Jordan 3 years ago today. Her dad is kind enough to be a regular listener and texter, a great guy. I've had the pleasure of meeting him, so our best to you, Ken, and your family today. We'd like to take a moment and officially welcome Drives Way Too Fast Jesus, Uncle Justin's boss Jesus, and only screams when Dad's on the phone Jesus to the sisterhood. Congratulations to Bruce from Public Works over there in Bloomington. It's his last day before retirement today. Happy birthday tomorrow to Catheter Slinging Jesus. And Drill Till It Squirts Jesus texted a birthday shout out to his Lithuanian brother from another mother, co-worker, and overall best buddy, orgasm donor Jesus. Happy birthday to you.
Hey, Cubby.
Yep.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I just got an absolutely brilliant text from a listener.
What's it say?
Okay. If I have a heart attack, you could come visit me and your hot ex-girlfriend at Mayo.
Perfect. Now we got to start all over. This is terrible.
We got to mend fences all over again.
This is terrible. That's 93X News.
Please welcome people's sexiest man alive, Mr.
Randy Shaver.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Outrageous. What happened tonight, this is completely BS. This is shame. Shame for the referees, shame for the league to allow this. 23 free throws for them, and we get 2 free throws in the fourth quarter. Like, how to play the game. I understand respect for all stars and all that, but we have star players on our team as well. How's possible as Scotty Barnes, who is all-star caliber player in this league, he goes every single time to the rim with force and trying to get to the rim without flopping and not trying to get foul calls. He gets 2 free throws for the whole game. How's that possible? How are you going to explain that to me? If that's the case, just let us know so we don't show up for the game. Just give them a win. That was not fair tonight. And this is not happening first time for us. Scotty Barnes is going to be all-star. He's going to be the face of this league. What's happening over here during whole season, I've been holding it back. It's a complete crap.
Hey, dickheads.
That is so good.
Dickheads. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, what's going on?
Well, I'm not so sure I need to answer that the way the name you just called me.
I'll answer to anything. I'm fine.
Randy's a pillar of the community. You can't address it.
I don't deserve that.
That very sensitive, thoughtful speech given by the Toronto Raptors head coach.
Sounded like Slapshot for a second.
Yeah, it does kind of sound like a bit.
He's got a little bit of Denny Lemieux happening there. Darko Rajakovic. 25 grand that cost him.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a rat's ass.
I don't think he cares.
Well, once you start going down that road, you might as well just go.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, he would have been fined 25 grand if he'd have stopped after 15 seconds. So why not just go all the way?
Tell you what, that's right, Brad Ryder. Once you go so far with that, just let her buck and worry about the consequences later. I love Chris Finch and what he's doing here with the Timberwolves. But if anything ever happens to Chris Finch, bring this Darko guy over here to the Twin Cities. Have him coach the Wolves for a few years. That would be a riot. I like his style. So you boys are doing good. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Can't complain.
You're both older guys, one quite a bit older than the other.
Oh, my. Brad, that's too bad he said that.
Well, you're 10 years older than me.
So
really?
Yeah, he is.
That doesn't seem right. Does it, Randy?
I know I look 20 years younger, but he's 10 years older.
Oh, my God.
That doesn't seem right that's that big of an age gap between the two. But you're both older guys, so who better to ask about the weather than older guys? What are your thoughts on the weather that's headed our way?
Well, now it looks like there's not going to be quite as much snow, if I'm reading what I saw this morning correctly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Okay, I thought they kept upping it. So now they've lowered it?
A little bit, yeah. Now
I think it depends on where you live, but
it
yes.
does. But now, last night when I went to bed, Southeast Metro, which is where a lot of us live, we're supposed to get maybe 5 to 6 inches, and now it's kind of down to 3 to 4, I think.
Well, but the real problem, from what I understand from reading this and reading that, is you get, a decent amount of snow, and then it just turns cold as balls, and the wind starts to blow, and then the roads become a nightmare. I actually got a text message from a listener, Fat Lebowski, who says, "Drive safe out there today, Brotherhood. The roads are going to be slipperier than Josh's mom's hump cave."
Oh, God.
She's a church-going Catholic. She fears God. She's only... the times that the thing happened was just to procreate. 3 times in her entire life.
I'm ringing this bell right now. I got to get it warmed up for dad fights anyway, but I'm ringing it now because that's the first time I've ever heard someone say hump cave.
I have never heard that either.
So there you go.
I think it's moving slower than they thought. That's part of the reason why. Yes.
Yeah, it'll probably be a massive pain in the ass, but I said earlier, I've been enjoying this fake winter. I really have. I know, Randy, you're on my side.
I am definitely on your side.
I wouldn't give a rat's ass if it's 52 degrees from now until the end of time. But there are plenty of our listeners who like to ice fish and snowmobile, and a lot of them, like I've stated before, they pierce their nipples, then they buy a snowboard. These people are very excited for what we've got headed.
Well, there will be ice next week. There's no question about that on the lakes. People will be able to go out on the lakes next week.
Real quick. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Brad Ryder. Real quick, we got plenty of football to discuss. But did you see the way that basketball fans are rallying to help out Banana Man?
Yeah, that's great.
Banana Man went to jail, and basketball fans rallied to help Banana Man. What happened the other night, Mississippi State, their basketball club, beat the 5th-ranked team in the country, Tennessee, and Mississippi State got that victory at home. The student section did not storm the court for that. Although you see a lot of that these days. It used to be your school had to beat the number 1 team in order for a reason for everyone to... Now, we beat the number 17 team. Yay, we're all going to be on social media. And they rush the court, right? It's totally different now. So, Mississippi State beats Tennessee at home. Tennessee was number 5. They did not storm the court, except for one dude dressed as a banana.
I love this guy. This is up on 93x.com, too.
It was real tough. It was a tough break for the kid. Wouldn't you agree, Josh? Because there was 0.01, a tenth of a second on the clock.
Hey, there was nothing left.
Nothing on the clock. He doesn't hear a whistle that blows, and he goes out onto the court. He's dressed as a banana, and he's the only guy out there. He expected everyone to follow him out there, but... Number 1, I guess word had gotten out to the student section that if they rush the court, they're going to be in big trouble. Because tell me if I'm correct on this, everybody. If your school rushes the court now, there's a chance your school will be fined for that. Am I right about that? I thought I heard that.
Yeah, some conferences are doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
So not only had word kind of spread, hey, let's not storm the court for that reason. Also, there was that 1/10 of a second that dude did not notice. He goes running out onto the basketball court, looking like a jackass, like that hockey bit where they let the rookie skate around by himself for one lap to embarrass him.
That's a good bit.
The cops grabbed this poor kid, and they weren't playing games. They put him in jail. He was cuffed, and he was put in jail. But as soon as news of his arrest hit the internet, basketball fans rallied together in support. They shared his Venmo tag on social media, whatever that means. And he got a bunch of money, and he was able to make bail and make it home by 10 a.m. the next morning.
Jeez.
The Adventures of Banana Man.
Did you already say, Ashley? That's up on 93x.com if you want to see him get the false start.
They were holding him with bail?
I guess, yeah. They weren't playing games. And that was a big part of the hubbub, too. People were saying, you really had to cuff this effing guy and put him in jail for the night. He was the only person that ended up on the court. It was very funny to watch.
Give him a trespassing ticket and let him go.
Exactly.
The first time the home fans rush the field or court in the SEC is $100,000. Second time, $250,000. Third time, $500,000.
But you're damn right. One of the greatest bits in the history of hockey is where you let the rookie take the ice all by himself for many laps. Usually it's when the rookie is playing in his hometown. The team all suckers the rookie, like, let's go. You're leading us out there. Let's go get a win. And then when the rookie takes the ice, all the veterans stay right there and let him skate around all by himself like a jackass. For Phil Housley, one of my favorite stories of when Phil Housley was a rookie for the Buffalo Sabres in 1978, Randy Shaver, 79?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, 80 maybe. When the first game the Sabres played here at Met Center, they did that bit to Phil Housley, and he felt like a complete dickhead.
So does football or the NBA have something similar? Because like in baseball, I love it when a teammate hits a home run and the dugout just does not acknowledge it.
Right.
They completely ignore it like he did nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Brad Ryder, do they do something like that in basketball? You run around.
I've seen something similar in the NBA a couple of times where they let the rookie run out first and everybody kind of just stays back.
Well, like for the shoot-around or whatever?
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. That is good stuff. The NFL playoffs begin this weekend. Here's your schedule. Tomorrow, the Browns in Texas. Go, you Browns, is what I say. Dolphins and Chiefs. Sunday, Steelers and Bills. Packers, Cowboys, Rams, Lions is the big one at 7 o'clock at night Sunday. We're not working on Monday, so we won't get a chance to talk about it then. Also on Monday, Tampa Bay and Philadelphia. Wait a minute. Are we working on Monday?
No.
Oh, that's right. We're not. I thought maybe I had the wrong weekend. So we got that happening. Josh is totally stoked. He said he's going to get hammered and enjoy all the football.
That not quite what I said, but I am going to enjoy quite a few of these
with his ex-girlfriend from Rochester.
That's completely false.
Why?
Completely false.
Is there a game or two you boys are looking forward to?
Gosh, I think all of them are going to be good matchups.
All of them?
Yeah, I think they all will be.
I'm kind of intrigued by the Detroit game because I think that's a bad matchup for Detroit. I'm not saying they're not going to win, but their defense has been struggling so much the last few weeks, and now you've got a team coming in here who likes to throw it up and down the field. I think that's going to be a struggle for them.
I agree with you, Brad Ryder. We were talking about how bad the Lions' defense looked in their final regular season game against whoever that was. Who was it that was throwing the ball? Huh?
Us, the Vikings.
Oh, that's right. It was the friggin' Vikings. Yeah, I forgot. The way that the Mullins kid was roasting them at times. Right. And I don't think you were with us on the air, Brad Ryder, but Randy Shaver and all of us were talking about if that's your pass defense, they might have some real trouble in the playoffs.
Well, and that's kind of been their lead up to the postseason, too. They've been torched over the last month or so defensively. So
I think this Lions party, unfortunately, I think it might have a quick ending.
I hope.
I don't think this will be the week. It might be the second week, but I like Detroit. They're going to be so jacked up. It's going to be
crowd.
They're going to be so fired up. I can't see them losing that game. I think to me, as I look at the schedule, the most interesting game for me is Green Bay Dallas. I think there's a chance Green Bay could go into Dallas and win that game. And what a collapse that would be for Cowboy fans, again, when they get into the postseason, right? That's kind of the script that Dallas has written. Have a good regular season.
Yeah.
Earn yourself a pretty high seed, and then fall flat on your face in the playoffs.
They do it every year.
Yeah.
And it's quite hilarious.
And Green Bay has just kind of been surging at the right time, and it just feels like that's there's a chance there for the upset. So.
Two of the other games have some really major weather implications too. That'll be fun to watch. That Chiefs game. I know you guys talked about that a little bit with the wind chill.
Yeah,
right. And then I read something. I don't know how legit this is, but I read something online last night that they are actually considering moving the Steelers-Bills game to Cleveland because of the snowstorm.
snowstorm.
Wow.
Yeah. Again, I don't know how legit that is, but there's been discussions behind the scenes about moving that game to Cleveland because of the snowstorm.
There's a snowstorm headed for Buffalo?
The same one we've got coming here is the same system is headed up there, and they're supposed to get 6 to 10 inches of snow on Sunday.
Yeah,
on
but
the day of the
that's
game.
nothing for them.
They've dealt with that hundreds of times.
They handle that.
Yeah, and if you ask the Bills, they want to stay, obviously. But
that would be silly.
Yeah, if you're going to let Kansas City play in minus 30,
yeah, I agree.
I mean, come on.
That would be silly.
I mean, I would think the Kansas City game would have a better chance of moving somewhere based on the dangerous wind chills as opposed to, 6 inches of snow. So
yeah, there's something in the New York Post actually this morning. I just pulled it up. I just Googled it, and yeah, it's being chattered about at least a little bit.
So the big news is now, is it official that Bill Belichick is stepping away from his...
It is official.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We got that happening. This is great. No love lost between New York sports fans and Boston sports fans, of course. NBC New York, whoever that is. They
by the way,
Randy
Nick, they've already named Jared Mayo as their head coach.
Why does that name ring a bell?
He's former linebacker for Belichick.
Okay.
He's just been named the head coach of the Patriots.
All right, fair enough.
That's on ESPN.com right now.
I love this. NBC New York tweeted after learning that, a Boston club had lost their legendary head coach to whatever you want to call it, a mutual agreement. NBC New York tweeted, Bill Belichick, who lost 2 Super Bowls to the Giants, expected to part ways with the Patriots. His 24-year tenure ended with a regular season loss to the Jets. That's cold as ice, and I love it. Yeah. A great headline is all you need sometimes to make your point or tell a story. Here's the headline from Defector.com. Bill Belichick exits as he entered, as a bore who never won without Tom Brady. I didn't even read the rest of the article.
You don't need to. Yeah, Defector and Deadspin. A lot of times the headline is the best part.
Deadspins.
Or I shouldn't say the best part, but it's good enough.
Yeah. The headline from Deadspin. Sure, Bill Belichick could coach, but he also was a jerk. That's all you need to know. By the way, did you guys know on Urban Dictionary, being Belichicked is a term?
No.
What is that?
Neither did I. I didn't know this. On Urban Dictionary, if you are Belichicked, it's defined as, quote, another way to say you were thrown under the bus by someone that you consider a friend. Boy, then I've been Belichicked once or twice. What about the rest of you?
Oh, yeah, plenty of times.
Sure.
Yeah. That's hurtful, isn't it?
Never heard of that. One more cute gimmick here for you. This was sent to me by Medical Device Jesus, who's, I think, really going to enjoy our dad fight segment, by the way. Medical Device Jesus sent me this cute joke. It's going to lose some of yous, but some of yous will get it, and that's where we're going with this. The joke says, Nick Saban left Alabama. Bill Belichick left New England. The Golden State Warriors lost by 36 points last night. It's been a tough couple of days for Yankee fans. Now, speaking of Nick Saban, so he's a goner too. He's retired. Yesterday, Brad Ryder, Randy was inconsolable.
Really?
Yes.
I wasn't inconsolable.
You know who'd cheer up a friend in a time of need?
Who's that?
Nick Saban.
Yeah, I bet he would.
He certainly would.
Randy, you weren't alone. A lot of folks are upset by this Nick Saban. Crimson Tide fans down there at the University of Alabama, they all rushed off to the site of Nick Saban's statue that they have outside their ballpark. I didn't know he had his own statue already.
Oh, he deserves it.
Oh, here we go.
Well, you're saying he doesn't?
No, I wasn't saying anything. I said I didn't know he had a...
Okay.
Take it easy, Randy. I'm not saying anything about your new god.
He's not my new god.
I'm just saying I did not know that he had a statue. But fans of the program and Nick Saban, they went rushing to his statue, acting as if he had upped and died. Now, this information I got from BroBible.com. They proceeded to leave several items at the foot of the statue in tribute to Nick Saban. Now, some of the items made sense. Some folks left oatmeal cream pies and bottles of Coca-Cola, both of which Saban was known to love. I got a box of oatmeal cream pies at my house right effing now.
Lucky, those are the best.
Oh, I bought you something. How do you feel about zebra cakes? I saw them and I thought you might like them.
Josh,
I got a whole box waiting for you at my house.
Good. I lust after zebra cakes.
Nice.
Yep.
I love all that Little Debbie's snack cake. I don't give a rat's ass what style it is.
Were you a big Ding Dong fan?
Bigger the better.
Careful.
I'm even a bigger Ding Dong fan than you are a Nick Saban fan. Hell yes.
I love Ding Dong.
I know, I agree, Wapple. Bring
What'd
back
you
the
say,
original
Wapple?
size.
They made zebra cakes a lot smaller nowadays.
Everything's
I
smaller
don't
these
like
days.
it. Don't like it.
They call it shrinkflation, Wapple.
Oh.
Educate yourself.
So they shrink everything and jack up the price.
Bingo. Or keep it the same.
Right.
You're right. All of those items are much smaller now. I mean, not that long ago, I had a fast food cheeseburger, and I said, what the hell? Where's the rest of it? Because they've shrunk down our favorite fast food cheeseburgers, too. Anyway, love that stuff, snack cakes and such.
Well, yeah, I got a box waiting for you.
Well, that's the nicest thing I've ever heard. Other little trinkets and whatnot that people left at the feet of the Nick Saban statue were a little more odd. So Bro Bible decided to cover some of the weirder things left at the foot of Nick Saban's statue. There was a get well soon balloon.
That was hilarious.
As far as we know, the man is not sick.
No.
Well, that was funny. Bro Bible, they published, some of the comments on social media, and there's a few people saying, he's still alive,
Right.
guys. So he didn't pass away.
Someone
he just retired.
Someone left a can of Four Loko. I doubt a 72-year-old man is much of a Four Loko drinker. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Has anyone here had that?
Oh,
Four
yeah,
Loko?
plenty of times.
Does it kick you in the butt as much as they say it does?
Yeah, definitely. When I tried it, it was when I was younger, so I didn't have any type of tolerance to alcohol. But those nights were the ones that you couldn't remember very much.
This is going to scare me, but what do you mean by younger when you didn't have a tolerance?
I was 15, I think, at the time, 16.
Good Lord.
High school, at least, though.
When I was young.
You mean 21 when you first started drinking?
Yes.
You got out of high school 7 years ago, for Pete's sake. You're still young. Here's what else was hanging around Nick Saban's statue that was a little different. A slice of pizza. A figurine of a duck.
Interesting.
A condom.
Aflac.
Condom. You?
Oh, Aflac, Randy Shaver?
Yeah, Aflac.
Did you just ask if it was a used condom?
It matters, I think.
What's the matter with you?
Well, you're right. There is quite a difference.
You're asking strange questions in your accelerated age of 26 or whatever. Someone left a pillow shaped like red lips, a Target gift card, cash, a bucket of pickles, a bottle of Smirnoff Ice, and empty bottles of wine. So the question is, does any of this make sense? No.
They also had some those remembrance candles when someone sadly passes away, and they leave it a tribute. Some of those. I mean, it's
weird.
odd.
It was weird, but it's all funny.
It sounds like just a place to drop your trash.
Sounds like they need to be a garbage can next to it.
Yeah.
It's like if you're doing some work and you get a dumpster, and all of a sudden you have all kinds of new friends.
Yes, exactly.
They just want to dump all their stuff in.
Oh, man. All right, we're getting close to fight time. Let me just give you your quick weekend schedule here. Other than the NFL, the Pigs are at home versus Philly tonight and Arizona tomorrow night. They could use some good things to happen to them in the next couple of days. The Wolves are also at home this weekend. The Portland Trailblazers tonight and the Los Angeles Clippers on Sunday.
Boy, Portland
nice they have a scrimmage tonight before the real game on Sunday.
Portland got absolutely throttled last night.
They did?
They lost by 62 to Oklahoma City.
Okay, what was going on last night? Did you guys see the score of the Celtics-Bucks game?
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Boston played obviously the Timberwolves the night before.
Right.
So
Right.
they just went into Boston or went into Milwaukee and mailed it in.
Right, but still, it was an extraordinary. I didn't see the final score, but I think I turned it on in the third quarter, and it was something like 90-53.
Yeah, Milwaukee won by 33.
There was a nasty amount of blowouts last night.
Portland. Oh, go ahead. You're going to say the same thing I was.
Portland got outscored 82-32 during the second and third quarters last night.
Oh.
Portland's on a 6-game road trip. They're on like their 5th game now, and they've lost every game by 25 points or more.
Yeah,
those boys.
Every game.
They could use some Four Loko.
Woo.
So this won't be very entertaining.
You
tonight,
think
I'm
this will
afraid.
be a cakewalk?
Oh my gosh!
I would hope so. Gosh, don't lose this one.
All right. Gopher Hoops. This is very exciting the way they're playing right now.
What's the deal though with these early start times?
Well, so they can show 2 games on the Big Ten Network or whatever.
Okay.
Right.
So one starts at 5:30.
I'm looking at their schedule, and they're like 5:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock.
They get a 5:30 game and an 8 o'clock game.
Yeah, it's so they can have the double whammy. They're playing at Indiana. I'm excited.
Excited.
Gopher hockey versus Robert Morris University from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's an interesting one. We ought to go ahead and cut loose with Dad Fights 154.
Dad Fights! Dad Fights! You don't have a dad, here's what it's like. Dad Fights! Dad Fights! Randy and Brad, they just fight. Have a Dad Fight! Yeah!
Snowblower man.
Is there still work to be done over there?
Hey, snowblowing now.
Man.
I'm at home, but I don't know. Probably not.
Are any of the rest of you a genius like me? And when you get these light snowstorms that we've had so far, you clear off your sidewalk with the leaf blower?
Sure do.
That's so smart.
Good for you guys.
No.
Good for you guys. You're finally coming around to my brilliance. By the way, got a text message from Father of 7 Jesus. Now what's happening?
A snowblower.
Father of 7 Jesus says he loves Little Debbie snack cakes. He says, I'm a Little Debbie cake pusher. I've got an entire trailer filled with a variety of tasty treats daily. We must drive truck for the company. He says, let's ride share to Rochester to see Josh's ex.
Oh, damn it.
And we can snack on Little Debbie's all the way down there. This hot ex-girlfriend of Josh's has become a big
What is
top.
the story? I guess I missed
Well,
it.
he still kind of has feelings.
No,
for
that is not true.
Oh, my gosh. Josh.
You just Belichicked me.
I did.
You did.
I did. I Belichicked you. I threw you under the bus. Your best friend just abandoned you in your
Josh,
time of need.
do you not remember that you're married?
No, I do. But for a brief second, Randy, I forgot she was listening. And I don't remember, somebody said something about her, and I said she was, lovely, and then I realized, I probably shouldn't say that.
You don't even know how to say the word monogamy.
No, that's you.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, I'm in a monogamous relationship. When you and your wife are in a what type of relationship?
Oh, my friggin' wife.
Yeah.
I can't believe you brought it up again. Oh, my blood pressure goes up. I'm supposed to give you the word of what kind of...
You and your wife are...
We are in a brief relationship. A brief one.
You know what?
She's just the flavor of the month.
Nick Saban wouldn't do to me what you just did a couple of seconds ago.
No, you're right. I am ashamed of myself.
Josh, I know your wife's sense of humor a little bit because I know her a little bit. She should reach out to your ex and they should play something on you. They should figure something out.
That'd be awesome.
That would actually be kind of scary.
My body heat is rising. I'm
do
sweating.
what? They should do what? I didn't catch that.
Play a prank on?
Play a prank on.
Prank him something. Yeah.
She does know an ex of mine from 6th grade, I found out. They worked together. So I was nervous on what kind of communication was going to go on between the two of them.
Come on.
Yeah, 6th grade.
An ex from 6th grade.
Well, we dated we started our dating on a Friday, and we broke up on Sunday. So it was a short-lived relationship.
Your wife should fight her.
You know what? There are people who actually feel awkwardness, is that a word? Awkwardness?
Yeah.
Around exes that were,
Like from grade school.
It's unbelievable. Yes,
That
Randy.
is insane.
From friggin', I know somebody who she's 50. She walked into a bar one night, and across the bar she sees her boyfriend from junior high, right, sitting with his wife, and she says, "Oh, there's Donnie. I dated him in junior high." Awkward.
No, it's not.
And I said, "What? How is there any junior high? That's not even real life. What are you talking about?
What?
Awkward."
I'm lucky. I've never had that where I'd be probably pleased to see someone. I've never had that awkwardness.
I couldn't. Okay, we got to get.
But
to
you probably haven't either, because neither one of us that I know of have ever had a relationship that was just ended horribly, where it would be uncomfortable to see someone. Ashley, same question to you. Actually, you know what? We're running out of time.
Oh, we're out of time.
Yeah, we've got to get to damn fights.
You were saved by the bell on that one.
Thank God.
Every Friday morning, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder lock in and compete in a do-or-die, all-or-nothing trivia duel. We hung the name Dad Fights on the segment years ago, and today is the 154th edition of the damn thing. We're all reasonable people around here, so how can we not feel good for the Detroit Lions going into their playoff game this weekend? They finally won the division. They've got a home playoff game for the first time in effing decades, as far as I can remember.
Playoffs?
Oh.
Jim Mora.
But we don't want those pricks out there in the Great Lakes state to get too cocky, especially coming off the douchey national championship that the douchey University of Michigan just won a few days ago. We don't want them thinking it's all about them. So today, we're going to dump this on them. Dad Fights, part 100 plus 54, the Michigan Sucks edition. The Michigan Sucks edition of Dad Fights. All things Michigan will be covered. Well, we won't cover all things that have ever come out of Michigan. That would be exhausting. But we've picked out some things related to Michigan to ask you about. And I don't know. I don't think we're too mean about it.
No, it's in good fun.
Not too mean about it. So just keep that in mind, boys. All things related to Michigan as part of the Michigan Sucks edition of Dad Fights. As usual, she's a head-to-head competition. You want to shout out the correct answer before the other guy. First one to answer correctly, you'll hear the bell. That means you got a point. Are we going with the Toronto coach, the basketball coach? Not that there's any connection to Michigan there. Are we going with that as the incorrect sound, Wapple?
Yes, we are.
It's a complete crap.
If you're incorrect, if you answer incorrectly, he'll say what again, Wapple?
It's a complete crap.
He'll call you crap.
That's good.
You can steal a point from your competitor if they answer incorrect. 10 challenges plus a tiebreaker. Best score wins. Our intro today will be handled by, speaking of Detroit and Michigan, the intro will be handled by My Lady Parts Burn for Dan Campbell Sheezes.
Good morning, comrades. This is My Lady Parts Burn for Dan Campbell Sheezes. From the dilapidated office mere steps from your studio door. Like number 68 Taylor Decker, I'm reporting for duty.
And I did exactly what Coach told me to do, and went to the ref, set report, and yeah.
Here to launch this week's battle between a legendary broadcaster, Twin Cities Sports Encyclopedia, and Culver's fanatic, Randy Shaver.
Just the year of the ass man?
I think it is the year of the ass.
And the owner of a metric ton of koozies branded with his own likeness, Brad Ryder. Today we discover why Michigan sucks. Spoiler alert. It sure ain't football right now, with Jim Harbaugh's Skunk Bears topping off a perfect season and nabbing a championship trophy, and the Motor City Kitties snatching the NFC North title the same way Ife Melifonwu snatched a pass out of the hands of Justin Jefferson. Things look pretty good on the pigskin front from Treetown and Detroit Rock City. So, will Randy's knowledge of the UP lead him to pure victory? Will Brad cry foul over sign stealing? Or will Shaver just up and walk away after starting 2024 undefeated and at the top of his game, just like Barry Sanders, with absolutely no explanation? Let the games begin. This is Dad Fight 154.
That's really good.
Well, I'll tell you what.
That's
She mentioned
tremendous.
She steps away from us. Ryder is one of the funniest people I've ever met. and most intimidating at the same time.
Yep.
If you're wondering why that sounded so good and the numerous references to inside information here at the radio station, that's because Dan Campbell makes my lady parts burn, whatever the hell her nickname is. She's is our promotions director, Ryder.
She's so great. That was beautiful.
So Tuesday we had an all-staff meeting, and everybody gets up there, says a lot of stuff we don't understand. I think it's radio related. It's a little bit over our heads,
right?
And everyone did their thing, and there were some nice talks and stuff. And then Ryder got up there, and she had an entire audio presentation. It was like a rock show, and I felt bad for anyone that had to talk after she did.
That's so cool.
She just, she's like that. She's so creative. She just made it so much better.
I didn't know she was a big Lions backer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't. She's from there?
No, she's not from there, but she's just a massive Detroit Lions fan.
She's pulled a Dana.
Yep.
Okay.
So instantly, once we brought up this topic, I was like, I have to go to Ryder to ask her if she'd do one.
I love the reporting joke. Of course, Lions fans are still upset about the player that reported. And then she referred to the Michigan Wolverines as skunk bears?
Skunk bears.
Skunk bear. I've heard that before.
Yeah, she looked up, what would it be, synonyms or whatever, like the same word, and skunk bear
she had to look it up?
Well, skunk bear and Wolverines was the same thing.
Don't worry about it. It's okay. So the Michigan Sucks edition of Dad Fights here. Brad versus Randy. You guys ready to get after it?
Sure.
Well, then here's Cubby for you.
The Lions may have won the NFC North, but let's not forget the stretch from 2001 to 2008 when this four-time Super Bowl champion NFL linebacker and former broadcaster Matt Millen. I remember, Randy, didn't you used to go after Matt Millen quite a bit?
I did.
Back in the day? That was funny.
Sucked.
Fire Millen chants started years before he was eventually fired in 2008. And there are pictures of Bears and Packers fans sarcastically holding up "Keep Millen" signs in the stands. That's good.
Yeah, we were just talking at the beer hall a few days ago about how in God's name Matt Millen held that gig for so long. It was just disaster after disaster. Hard to believe it was that long ago, 2001 to 2008. That's one.
He didn't stick with head coaches very long either.
No.
Nah, he was kind of rambling through those.
A lot of frustration.
That's 1-0 for Randy Shaver here in the Michigan Sucks edition of Dad Fights. Correct answer, Matt Millen. Here's an actor who grew up in Michigan, and he's shown the ability to suck pretty hard, in my opinion. He showed his allegiance to Michigan by wearing sweatshirts from various Michigan college on his suckbag sitcom from the 90s called Home Improvement.
Tim Allen. I got it.
Randy.
No, oh, no.
Yeah.
That was close.
Sorry, Brad. Don't start crying now.
Dude, that was very, very close.
That was close. But Wapple's the guy. He's got the ear.
Ashley, tell us who the guy is.
Wapple's the guy.
It's Wapple.
I'm the guy.
And Wapple says that, I think you're right, Wapple. Not that I would ever argue with you. You're the guy.
That guy.
Randy got in there just ahead of Brad with the correct answer of Tim Allen. Of course, he knocked it out of the park later in his career with the sitcom Last Man Standing, which you can see on Channel 45 every weeknight at 8 o'clock.
Your favorite.
Yes.
He went to Central Michigan when he was young and also attended the University of Michigan. I also have to admit that he totally rules in Wild Hogs.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great movie.
That is.
Love that movie.
It's an underrated comedy.
Do you like that one, Brad Ryder?
Yeah, I do.
Brad's down 2-0 here.
Michigan is proud for being home to major automotive manufacturers like GM and Ford. But most Michiganders would rather forget a controversial and short-lived Ford subcompact manufactured between 1971 to 1980. Infamous for a fuel tank design that attracted both media and government scrutiny after several deadly fires occurred when the tanks ruptured in rear-end collisions.
Pinto?
The Ford Pinto is the correct answer.
Good one. Good one.
Approximately 117 lawsuits were brought against Ford in connection with rear-end accidents in the Pinto.
The Ford Pinto, Brad Ryder.
I remember all those Pinto jokes growing up.
Yeah.
Anyone ever drive one?
I
No.
did.
No.
You had one, Randy.
I didn't have one. Actually, this is crazy, but the first news car I ever drove was at Channel 6 in Austin, Minnesota in, I don't know, June of 1981, and it was a Ford Pinto.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
Glad you didn't get rear-ended. Ooh,
Yes.
boy.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I had for a stretch of time when I was young. I had a car that I'm just going to guess was created to rival the Pinto, and that was a AMC Gremlin.
Yes.
They were very similar.
Yes, they were.
Similar, smaller, compact cars with the big back window.
That's right. Yep.
All right. Brad Ryder gets on the board there. Nice job, Brad.
Thank you.
2-1 Randy as we move on with the Michigan Sucks edition of Dad Fights. By the way, Josh, I just reached to straighten my eyeglasses that are not there.
Uh-oh.
Yes. If I
Don't you have a story about somebody trying to take out contacts that weren't there?
Oh, yes, I do. If I struggle at all during this segment, it's because I forgot to bring my readers this morning. And I'm fairly hopeless without my readers.
Why don't you just leave the readers at work and have another pair at home?
That's a great question, Randy.
It's a long story.
Yeah, we did talk about that earlier.
I mean, the readers are actually kind of easy to find, are they not? Can't you just...
Randy, I have
dollar store.
I have multiple pairs. I have multiple pairs sprayed all over the house.
Yes, right. That's exactly like my wife.
Right.
She's got them everywhere.
But I've forgotten to bring an extra pair here to the
And then you can't find them when you're at home.
No, I have they're everywhere, Brad Ryder.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. You still can't find a pair.
Here's the deal.
I'm getting there, Nick. I'm gonna have to get some. pretty
So
soon.
I'm struggling to read these questions. But yes, Josh, I knew an old lady back in the day. She's passed on now. She was a lot of laughs. Drank with her quite a bit at the Wayzata American Legion. She had a great story where she went into the doctor because her contact lenses were off-center, or I've never worn them, so I don't know the various problems you have with contact lenses. But her contact lenses were all kitty-wampus. And when the eye doctor took a close look, he found like 6 or 7 pair of contacts swimming around her eye sockets.
That is so messed up.
That's gotta
hate
be
that.
terrible.
I hate that story.
You know, she had headaches and this and that. The doctor asked her, "Have you had headaches on and off?" Well, yeah, for about 20 years. So she was a heavy drinker. So she would fall asleep and wake up the next day and forget. Where did she have them in, out, like 5 or 6 pair.
You'd think she'd be able to see into the future with that many contacts.
Can you imagine how good that must have felt after she got it corrected?
Oh, yeah.
I bet.
Josh, how would you look in readers, by the way? If you don't look good in sunglasses,
I don't know.
Well, it's a totally different look.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd look studious.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd respect me more around here.
I bet you
Get
would.
Those library ones that are really small and wear them at the end of your nose.
Yes.
With a chain.
Yeah.
Or with a chain. Yes.
You can't compare sunglasses and readers. Everybody, even I look like I know what I'm doing when I have readers on. So Josh would look brilliant. All right,
I'll
here we
bring
go.
some in, and you can tell me.
We're up to number 4 here now. Michigan sucks is the topic for Dad Fights. Randy Shaver leads 2 correct answers to 1 for Brad Ryder. Jim Harbaugh sucked at quarterback in the NFL. He lost more games than he won. As a starter for the Indianapolis Colts, he even got beat in the 1995 AFC title game by one of the suckiest quarterbacks in the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Name that Steelers starting quarterback in the 95 AFC title game.
Mike Tomczak?
It's a complete crap.
That is crap.
Complete crap.
You are incorrect. Randy Shaver, the starter for the Steelers in the 95 AFC title game. He sucked.
God. Neil O'Donnell.
Yeah, you're right. That was my second guess. Dang it.
I think you should have made that your first guess.
I should have. You're right.
That is correct, Randy Shaver. I remember this game so well because I hated the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I still do. I hated that Greg Lloyd and that whole, I despise. And so here comes Harbaugh and the Indianapolis Colts, absolute complete underdogs. There was a time when I didn't despise Jim Harbaugh. And I had money on the Colts pulling the upset. And if you're old enough to remember the game, Harbaugh chucks up a Hail Mary into the end zone that would have won the game on the final play. And there was a receiver, I believe his name was Aaron Bailey, who had the ball up against his chest in the end zone and just couldn't hold on to it.
It's a complete crap.
That's
It is a
how it
complete
ended.
crap. Optical Jesus, Nick, has checked in on your story about the young lady who had all the contacts in and said that is actually a regular occurrence.
I bet it is.
Yeah, he sees people coming in there doing the exact same thing.
Oh, I'm so glad
I just don't know how you could survive with that stuff in your eyes.
Yeah.
It would drive me crazy.
With the correct answer of Neil O'Donnell, Randy's up 3-1.
The University of Michigan's Fab Five basketball team of the early 90s, one of the true phenomena in college basketball history, but they sucked in national championship games. They first sucked in 1992, losing to Duke. What school crushed their sucky dreams in the 93 national title game?
Oh, gosh.
UNLV.
It's a complete crap. It's a complete crap.
They're both out?
All right.
Yeah, I can't think of
Out of time.
Wapo, the correct answer is...
North Carolina.
Oh, sure.
I'm surprised you guys didn't get that one.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't either.
The timeout game.
Yes. I know it was the timeout game. I just couldn't think of who they were playing.
I couldn't either.
All right. It happens. We're up to number 6 now, right, Josh?
Yes. We're tied at 2?
No.
I forgot who got the last
Yes,
one.
we are.
3-1.
Randy.
No, it's 3-1.
3-1. I'm
Settle
sorry.
down, Brad.
I'm sorry.
Randy's
feel
leading
Freaking
3-1.
Complete crap.
All right. Here is challenge number 6. The Michigan Wolverines Football Club may have won the national championship this year over the University of Washington, but they've sucked before. In 1992, they lost to Washington in the Rose Bowl, despite having this Heisman Trophy winning wideout /
Desmond Howard.
wideout / kick returner on the roster. The correct answer is Desmond Howard. Randy's now up 4-1. In that 92 Rose Bowl, Washington defensive tackle...
Posed for the Heisman.
Well, that was at a home game.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what he's famous for.
Yes. In that 92 Rose Bowl, Washington defensive tackle Steve Empman...
Oh, yeah.
And
big-time player.
And quarterback Billy Joe Hobart were named the players of the game. I believe that Mark Brunell might have thrown a pass or two for Washington.
Wasn't Steve Empman like the number 1 pick in the draft that year?
He was one of the top 2 or 3, I
think he was.
He was up there.
Yeah.
4-1, Randy. Finish him.
Oh, boy.
Randy
Pressure's
can
on.
seal the sumbitch right now.
The Detroit Tigers sure do suck sometimes. Back in 2003, they managed to lose 119 games. But in 2012, they made it to the World Series, only to suck on baseball's biggest stage. Swept by this NL West team managed
Dodgers.
It's a complete crap.
All right, here's your chance, Brad Ryder, because the question isn't over yet.
managed by the great Bruce Bochy.
Oh, San Francisco Giants.
The only team to lose more games in the modern era than the 2003 Tigers were the 1962 New York Mets, who sucked just one more game, losing 120 games that season.
120 games gone. Losses.
That's so bad.
That's brutal. Nice work, Brad Ryder.
Still in the game.
Still in the Michigan Sucks edition of Dad Fights. It's 4-2 Randy. All right. Here we... Oh, my God. Look at the time. But we'll just keep going anyway. Name this actress who grew up in a suburb of Detroit. She rose to fame on the sucky late 80s kiddie sitcom Saved by the Bell, but most folks called her out for really creating a suck storm in 1995 when she starred in the half-ass porno movie called Showgirls.
Elizabeth Berkley.
Oh! Woof! All you got to say is half-ass porno and Brad Ryder's all over.
We're in his wheelhouse now.
Oh, my God.
Nice. Elizabeth Berkley.
I remember that movie.
She got everything.
I'll bet you do, Brad. I'll bet you
She
do.
took it all off in that friggin'... she won 2 Razzie Awards for Showgirls. Worst Actress and Worst New Star. Dude, that hurts.
Yeah.
Now it's 4-3.
November 28th, 2008. This Michigan State alum, a wide receiver for the Giants at the time, suffered an accidental self-inflicted gunshot wound to his...
Plaxico Burress.
Fatality.
You win. Thank you.
Well,
undefeated in 2024.
Boy, you bit his kneecap off, Red.
You did. You bit his kneecap off, then he went down, bit another piece off.
I'm on vacation yet, so I'll be back next
Oh
week.
my God!
5-3.
Every day's a vacation for you.
Well, that's true, but I am on vacation.
Final score 5-3. Randy victorious in, how do you call it, dad fights, the Michigan Sucks edition. What did I have left here?
I forgot you went to Michigan.
State.
When you
Michigan State.
Burris. Oh, Michigan State. You're right.
Michigan State.
Yeah, I forgot that.
This one, it's all over with. And Randy's the winner, but this one I was excited to have in the contest. Unfortunately, we didn't get to it because I thought Randy could hop all over it.
What's that?
Try this one out. Before they really took a look around to realize how bad the city sucks, the rock band Kiss recorded much of their legendary 1975 live album at a venue in Detroit called Cobo Hall.
No, yeah. Sorry.
On their next studio album called Destroyer, that's great, you jumped in with Cobo. On the next studio album called Destroyer in 1976, Kiss included a song on the record that paid tribute to their
Detroit Rock City.
That's right.
Yeah, he would have got that.
You guys did great. Both
It's
of
a
you.
complete crap.
Oh, the coach.
I love that guy.
You should hang on to that.
God, I love that.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
just
we
so
will.
good.
It is great.
Coach from the Raptors wasn't impressed how you guys
Oh
did
my
today.
God! The whole speech by that guy was so good.
I mean,
I think I've watched it like 20 times.
He and Denny Green, they might be
Yes.
at the tops of that list. You guys have a great weekend.
All right, you too.
We'll see you next week. We'll be back here before you know it on the program.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
If something should happen to one or both of us, I'd regret not having said this, so I'm just going to say it. You have a nice penis. I see it a lot. I don't say anything, but it's nice. Now, you say something nice about my penis.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
Alert count. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
And how many drinks would you say you consume each week?
Socially, about 4 to 6. Alone in the dark while crying to Adele, 100.
On 93X.
Yeah, I hear you. What are we already up to 8:33? It's the Friday edition of the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Who cares, right?
You've
Who
checked out.
friggin' cares? From here on out, who really gives a rat's ass? Okay, I got to address a text message here. And it plays into something we were talking about just briefly during our dad fight segment. You guys know this. You know this about me. I am absolutely fascinated by folks who cannot move on from a relationship. They just simply cannot ever move on from a broken, specifically, relationship. I was telling you a story about a gal I know that admitted at 50 years old that she felt awkward seeing her boyfriend in public from 7th grade. That's incredible to me. How can there be any awkwardness at all between two people who did whatever we did in 7th grade when now you're 10 years from retirement? I cannot wrap my head around it.
Does seem unusual.
Oh, my damn. Got a message here from a listener. Oh, there's no name connected to it. It's a female. I ran into an ex at a bar that I dated in 6th grade. He proceeded to yell at me for breaking up with him.
No.
Oh, man.
That is. Oh, I couldn't help but just sit and laugh.
I would think I'm dead. I'm on a hit list or something. Wouldn't you, Ashley?
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's been holding on to it that long, and he would even not just sit there and under his breath go, I hate that person. He'd confront her?
Yeah, that's scary.
That's scary.
I'm sorry if I obsess about this, but it is absolutely one of the most fascinating things in the world to me that grown folks just can't say, well, that's over. I mean, of course, with the exception of wild, awful behavior, life change, you understand.
You're in court
absolutely,
or
yeah.
something absolutely nuts.
You understand what I mean. Just a broken relationship. It didn't work. And there are folks who just, to the day that they die. And speaking of relationship problems, Josh, I'm sorry I started out that trouble with your wife. I'm sorry about that. Is she mad at you? Is she mad at me?
No, not at all.
I was always told that the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. So if you still like hang on to something like from that long ago, I'm gonna assume that you still deeply care about that person.
The opposite of love is indifference.
Because I think in order for you to have to hate something so passionately, like it's taking up time in your head.
It took me a while because I'm not the brightest guy in the world to understand what you're saying, but now that I understand it, I think that's really brilliant.
Yeah. Right, you'd rather have somebody mad. I remember like that with my parents, where if they were upset, my dad specifically, and because my dad was an anger ball, right? He didn't mind yelling at you about stuff that I don't think anybody should get yelled at, but he would do that all the time.
He cursed me out once when nobody was looking. He cursed me out
for no good reason.
Yeah, who do you think you're talking to? We had a problem one afternoon.
Yeah, he was intimidating, and he was he's yelled all the time when we were little, or not even just little, like through high school and everything. But the times that he was so mad he didn't say anything, that's when it almost hurt. Like, Dad, come on, just yell at me.
The disappointment.
Knock me around a little bit, Dad.
That's when you knew the clock was ticking.
Yeah. That hurt. Like, oh no, he doesn't love me anymore.
Did you and your siblings ever just clear out of the room when he made that face?
Oh man, I'll tell you what.
Just get out of the room.
Do you remember, maybe this is going to be a weird parallel, but it rings true for me. Remember in our old building, we had a magician bring in a tiger. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And
yes, I do. I was terrified. You and I were quite scared, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we didn't want to show it, but we were a little nervous. It was cool. I mean, being around something like that, wow, it was really cool. And so we took a picture with it afterwards. You remember it sneezed, and both of us, I think we ran a country mile.
We did.
And it was like, sometimes my dad could make a noise, an innocent noise like a sneeze or something, and I'm up and out thinking, here we go, he's going to blow. But it was just, he had the sniffles.
It's a fun comparison that you make, and that was a long time ago. We had a magician come into the building, into the studio, with a tiger on a leash. Now, and keep in mind, this wasn't David Blaine or David Copperfield or some $1 million magician who you would trust because, my God, he's in movies and this was just some random dude from Anoka, you know what I mean, who was just getting started in the business. And I wanted no part of that friggin' stupid tiger. And Josh is right. The thing was completely serene, if that's a word.
It's like the sweetest dog ever. Or maybe I should say cat. It was just a sweet cat.
It sat when the magician told him to sit. And it was just, there was nothing really to be scared of. But Josh is right. It just went with its face and like let out a little sneeze. We were sprinting down Duluth Street in Golden Valley, screaming for our lives.
I think we ended up at Denny's that day.
We used to
moons over Miami.
We did spend a lot. There was a Denny's right down the road, and we put on the freshman 15. Josh and we did. All right, back to relationships real quick. And I sincerely hope everything's okay with you and the wife. If you weren't listening a little while ago, Josh said some things about an ex, and he thought maybe he pissed off the wife, and then we made good on the situation, and then I made it worse. And so I don't know where he stands with. She's kind of jealous, huh?
No, not at all.
She's not a jealous person?
No, well, the closest would be, I mean, she knows I couldn't land anything, right? So she's not jealous there, but you remember, she did have a dream that I cheated on her.
Right.
Again,
Right.
She had a dream.
She had a dream.
That I cheated on her. I didn't have this dream. She did, and she was mad at me. She admitted it's ridiculous, but an entire day she was mad at me. And I had nothing to do with it.
God. Oh, okay. Back to this listener. The lady who, as an adult, ran into her 6th grade boyfriend at a bar, and he yelled at her for breaking up with him. she's gotten back to me. It's semiconductor builder Sheezes. He yelled at me. She's continuing on this fascinating story. He yelled at me for 20 minutes about the way I broke up with him in 6th grade. And that I broke up with him to date a different guy. She said, but I never even dated the guy he named. He went on to argue that fact with me. So when she said, number one, this was 6th grade, what are you, a psychomaniac? Number two, I never dated that guy. He said, well, yes, you did.
All right, buddy. Sure.
That's freaky. By the way, Ashley, you had a very wise statement a little bit ago. You said the opposite of love is indifference. And that resonated with a lot of people. And a couple folks checked in and said, man, since you gave up weed, you've become real wise.
Yes.
That's what's been holding me back.
Send in the wise one. Ashley enters the room to a puff of smoke, wearing a cloak. All right, speaking of relationships, well, this has got to be upsetting for some of you boys out there. It's just as simple as this. I love the way it sounds. A new survey says that a lot of women do not like their husbands all that much.
Dang. All right.
See, that's the thing about Josh and his wife. She thinks the world of him. She likes you a whole hell of a lot.
We're lucky that way. And I know that's some people aren't, but we're very lucky that way. I appreciate that.
A new survey says that a lot of women, I just love the way how simple this is put, do not like their husbands all that much.
I suppose it's just because, I'm a dude and they're probably not going to say anything to me, but I don't hear women complain about husbands a lot. But I'd imagine, Ashley, you'd have a different answer or no?
I'd say I'd probably hear men complain about their wives way more often than I hear wives complain about their husbands.
I mean, it's simple enough for me. I hang out with way more dudes than I do checks. So I would say, just by that process, I hear way more dudes complain about their wives than wives complain about their husbands. Now, for us dudes, it's kind of a bonding thing. Do you know what I mean by that? Mm-hmm. We bond with each other by saying, the wife made me this terrible dinner, or she got up my ass about not mowing the lawn. It's kind of it's not always serious. We just kind of do that to do it.
I think men, when they complain about their wives, it's smaller situations, like mowing the lawn, or she made me unload the dishwasher. But when I've heard women complain about their husbands, it's usually like brutal.
Oh, like real problems.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Again, she's off the weed and you're making some really good points.
What's going on here? You should have given up. If you would have given up grass years ago, you wouldn't be sitting here right now. You might have a real job.
You'd be hosting KQ.
Yeah. Because I would also agree with that. When dudes are complaining about their wives, it's usually some kind of humorous vibe to it. When women complain about their husbands, it's usually, I'm going to kill that son of a bitch.
Yep.
But, all right, husbands out there, you probably already know this, but your wife, she doesn't like you all that much. Some say that they regret marrying their husbands, or they're considering leaving them now. This shouldn't be a shock, I guess, right?
Yeah. Get it done.
Nobody hangs on to that marriage gimmick for too long anymore.
Well, I do know two women who they went on a trip together, right? They and then they both came back and decided we're getting divorced from our husbands.
Wow.
They spent some time. One motivated the other motivated the one, and then they're getting divorced.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to do it with somebody, I guess. Have your friend by your side.
Do you remember any of the reasons why?
I do, but I fear saying them in case anyone is listening.
And Ashley just said it's nice that they had each other to rely on. They both made that big life move together. They both decided, well, we're going to divorce our husbands. You and I almost had that moment, Josh, but I screwed it up.
That's true.
But it was slightly different. Josh and I were both dating women for quite a stretch of time. This is 15, 16, 17 years ago, whatever.
Oh, yeah. It was 2007.
You had a woman in your life who became your wife.
Yep.
I was dating a gal who...
It seemed like that was what was about to happen.
Seemed like we were headed in that direction. And true story, I walked into the building one Monday morning, and I said, "What's up, dickhead?" And Josh, is this how it played out? You said, "Well, Aaron and I are engaged."
Yes.
And I said, "Oh, I broke up with my girlfriend."
Yeah. And, not that I regretted the decision, but I had thought we were both going to do this at about the same time.
Right.
And I remember being shocked, like, what the hell, man? You couldn't have told me this like 48 hours ago?
So there was a little bit of a feeling of abandonment on your part.
I thought it was going to be something because, you're nervous, right? You're like, I believe I'm making the right decision. I can't imagine not being with her or have her kids in my life. I couldn't imagine that.
Right.
But yeah, for a brief second, I thought my partner here is going in a completely different direction.
We thought we were on the same life path or whatever you want to call it, but of course I ruined it because I'm a derelict. But that was a lot of fun. Hey, I got engaged over the weekend, Cubby said, and I said, "Congratulations." Yeah, I dumped what's her name.
The brother and sisterhood are checking in on people who they motivate each other to make a certain decision. This person says, "I know two ladies that did the same thing. They went on a trip together. They decided we're getting rid of our husbands, but then they married each other."
Oh,
that's a twist maybe you wouldn't see coming.
That's a good story.
That's hot stuff.
It is hot stuff. You know what? If my wife ever did that, I'd be kind of cool with it.
Oh yeah, that's what we're all shooting for, right, fellas?
But I kind of wonder, what took so long?
Leave me for a woman and do it in front of me.
Oh, I imagine you could tell your buddies. Yeah, she left me for a woman.
That's good stuff. Yeah, it is very hot.
Okay, you see what he did? He French fried when he should have pizza. French fry when you pizza, you're gonna have a bad time.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, be damned. We're about done. Just about done. I don't know what else there is to give. We've been giving.
Enough, you said?
Oh, are you kidding me? More than enough. We've been giving her hell all week, too. It was a 5-day work week.
Tough.
Not the case next week. Not the case next week because we've got Monday. Off.
Yes, we do.
Hope we just stressing people out.
You know who we stressed out? The program director, the engineer, the general manager, the general sales manager. Those are the ones that get stressed out with
Tell you what, it's about time they felt a little stress. Does anyone have anything big happening this weekend they want to talk about before we leave?
Nothing, thankfully. It's awesome. It's been so long since I haven't had anything going on.
Those are the best weekends, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. Yeah, outside of just your godson, he's got a little bit of a basketball game, watch a lot of football, that kind of thing.
Well, sure.
How's the basketball thing going? Has he got any skill?
How is it going?
It's more of like an experience, Ashley, than it is whether or not any of these kids have skill. Sometimes your first game, you're going to lose 33-17.
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
But Josh, is there a lot of positive reinforcement out there?
Absolutely.
Okay,
supportive
good.
Parents,
good.
Parents that they know their role. Like, hey, I'm not going to throw all my opinions out to the coach. I felt bad for the coach because afterwards he was kind of telling the parents, like, hey, we've only had 2 practices and, it was our first game. These kids are getting annoyed. Because I'm sure, as a coach nowadays, a youth coach, I'm going to get ripped on by some moron who can't handle that these are 6th graders playing basketball.
Mm-hmm. So. She was 33-17.
33-17.
Oh. Well, I guess I can close this week out with, I don't know. It's kind of the end of an era. After 54 years, Fruit Stripe gum, dude, gone.
No.
Fruit Stripe gum. That 20 seconds of flavor that it gave you
was glorious.
It was. Yeah.
Fruit Stripe gum is officially a goner after 54 years in the business.
That bums me out.
Isn't that? It is. I mean, it's not like I ran out every week. But do any of you guys, do you spend any time with the chewing gum? Do you have a favorite chewing gum?
You know, I used to really be into it, but I haven't in years for whatever reason.
I'm a gum chewer. Once a day, I put a big fat wad of gum into my yap just to keep me from the smokeless tobacco for a little while.
I use Orbit.
Enjoy Orbit. Mm-hmm. Okay, Fruit Stripe gum was a lot of fun, and it's something I think that brings a lot of us back to our childhood. I don't remember this, but this sounds like a riot. They had temporary tattoos in each pack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I could use a temporary tattoo.
Yeah, it was the wrapper of the gum was the tattoo.
The stripe flavor, the different stripy colors.
Yeah, it had the zebra, and he'd be like skateboarding or doing a dunk or something like that.
So there was some kind of a cool cartoon character doing something fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that's my first question when I heard about the demise of Fruit Stripe gum. What's going to happen to their mascot, Yipes the zebra?
Well, you know, I wonder if sometimes this stuff happens, right, where they're like, all right, we're all done, and then another company buys the brand or buys whatever. And I'm hoping that's the case.
Did you know their mascot was named Yipes the zebra?
Nope, and that is adorable.
Yipes, because look at his stripes.
Wapple knows what's going on around here. In this announcement about the demise of Fruit Stripe gum, they did mention that the brand made appearances in big-time movies. It had quite the resume. Fruit Stripe gum was featured in Home Alone Part 2, Lost in New London Spicer.
Nope. That's
Lost in New York.
Yes.
It
Just watched that movie the other day.
Did you really? Mm-hmm. What's the matter with you?
Oh, that's great.
It made an appearance in Down Periscope. Never saw it, even though it stars one of my favorite actors, Kelsey Grammer. I never bothered with Down Periscope.
I didn't watch that either.
And they mentioned it quite a bit on Family Guy.
Oh, yeah, they do quite a bit.
Yeah, they make fun of it. Simply because, just like we were saying, it tastes amazing for definitely under 1 minute. And then afterwards, you're just chewing on... I was going to say something sticky, but that'd lead to a lot of text. But
10 seconds of pleasure like Cubby in the sack, says Taze Wapple again, Jesus.
It's also another gum where it like loses its flavor, but it's so good is that Hubba Bubba tape.
Sure, I don't know if that might have been a little past my...
It was the stuff that was in the circular container?
Well, I mean, I don't think what I'm saying is I don't think I ever tried it because it was a little past my gum, my fruity flavored gum chewing phase. When I was a kid, we used to gobble up Hubba Bubba and Bubbalicious.
Oh, not the Big League Chew?
That too.
Oh, that stuff is awesome.
Grape. Perfect.
Yeah, Big League Chew was absolutely wonderful.
I also liked that. It was like Band-Aid tape gum. It came in like aluminum pack.
Yes.
And then you open the top and it had like grape, strawberry, and sour apple, I think.
Don't remember it. It was like a 3-pack of flavors?
Yeah, and it came in an aluminum tin that, so you wouldn't crush your sticks of gum or break them.
Boy, I don't recall.
Yeah, that only lasted like maybe a minute.
Ouch, bubblegum.
There we go.
Yep.
I've never heard of that.
Whoa, dude, you
Ouch,
just took me back.
Yeah.
What about Bazooka Joe? People are saying Bazooka Joe.
Yeah, it was Ouch bubblegum, and then I would get those candy cigarettes from the gas station.
Those were so cool.
Bazooka
Joe had the comics, right?
Yeah, very, very tasty. When we were little, when we were young kids, we all... It could crack your jaw.
Like if you your first bite, if you just really nod on it, ooh, watch out.
If you were a rookie, your first piece of Bazooka Joe gum might crack your jaw for you.
Or
you
like
had to.
The ones that came in like packs of baseball cards or whatever, piece of gum and something like that.
This is great. I missed this. Smokes Your Mom's Pot Jesus texted in on our conversation on chewing gum and the end of Fruit Stripe gum. He says, on the television show My Name is Earl, Joy steals a vehicle over Fruit Stripe gum and how quickly it loses its flavor. I'm sorry I missed that one.
I love her.
I loved that show, and oh, God. Joy on, was that the blonde?
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely lights out and
Beautiful.
So funny.
Yeah, oh man, she's a great comedic actress.
So funny. So they say here in closing on the final for Fruit Stripe gum, it's another sign that we're getting older. So long, old friend.
Yeah, I wonder if they they'll bring it back. I sure hope so. You know, I haven't had a piece in over 30 years, but that does sting a little bit.
It's just nice to know. Nice to know that it's there. Is that what happened with Twinkies?
Twinkies, yes. That's what made me think of it. That that's happened there.
We all thought that.
TV
that was
shows. I mean, that's different, but
number of years ago, we all thought that the world was going to stop spinning because Twinkies were going to go away, and then somebody bought them up, and we can still enjoy.
Yeah,
that whole delicious.
Thank God.
Absolutely. Let her buck, Cubby. I want to go home.
All right, yes. Best of luck to Shower Beer Jesus getting his wisdom teeth out today.
Really?
Yeah.
How old of a guy is he, I wonder?
I don't know. Did I say Shower Beer Jesus if I didn't say that correctly? Yeah, I hope that goes well.
Most of us, he's not going to have any gum anytime soon, but most of us have that procedure when we're in high school.
Yeah, I did. I didn't get a dry socket. Watch out for those dry sockets. I hear they're terrible.
Yeah, I've heard horror stories.
I've heard they're very painful, so do what the dentist says there. Shout out to Richard Beating Jesus along with his girlfriend and her family. They're headed to Lake of the Woods to, quote, drink some fish and catch some beers. Happy birthday to truck-driving, dart-throwing Jesus from his cousin Backhand Bar Down Jesus, both podcasters. We appreciate that. And as Nick mentioned, we are off on Monday, so hope to see you again on Tuesday.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.